It's not doing it anymore. Life wasn't just. It was. It was burning.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Michigan International Raceway here in Michigan as we get ready to go racing for tonight's installment of the HTL Cup Series. We're glad to have you with us here on ABN. Thank you for joining us. You're just in time for a single car qualifying, followed immediately by the race for tonight. We're on this 2-mile oval, and with the falling of Auto Club, now one of the only multi-groove 2-mile ovals remaining in the States. It should be a great race today with 2 races before the cutoff for the chase for the championship begins. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kristina Ryan. Alongside me is, as it was last week, Kevin Young. And Kevin, we're a few minutes away from qualifying here. This track has a lot of character, and with the new updates that just changed how these tracks run for oval, we should be in for a heck of a show tonight.
I think that is quite agreeable, Kristina. Obviously, good to have you here this week. Obviously, last week you were feeling a bit under the weather, so it was the Kevin's show here on HTL, but it's now me and you in the booth tonight. However, to talk about the track itself, you are correct. New update has changed some things here. It's multi-group, so we're going to see a lot of different lines. And according to at least one of our in-car reporters, or at least someone that's probably some good insight, Carmen Sienna, who is currently out there on the track, she said that we're looking possibly for 4-wide action, look at some good, basically a light draft track, if you will, maybe a bit of a precursor Daytona next week, which will be the firecracker race that will be the cut before the chase. So it's going to provide some great action, great racing, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see out of the screen right now, they're starting to line up. Qualifying not yet underway, but is getting there. In a moment, we'll see the first couple of cars roll off in just a minute's time. So while we sit here and wait, Kevin, this track, again, we know how much we love Auto Club, but as far as real life goes, no longer a track. So this is kind of the last bastion for multi-groove racing, as we see, I think, that was
Joel Rodriguez. Yep, Joel Rodriguez in the 91 going out first. And was top of the charts too, so definitely going to be a fast drive to keep an eye on, maybe the one that sets the time to beat. But yeah, Auto Club, a very great track, very fun to watch. Michigan, kind of the old guard of those 2-mile tracks, if you will, these high speeds, basically in Roger Penske's backyard before, well, first backyard before Indy became his new backyard. But regardless, it's tried some great racing. It should be easily fun to see how this plays, and it's a good track here, and hopefully it doesn't leave the schedule anytime soon. But Joel Rodriguez coming up here to start his first lap here. Again, if you are new here tuning in, it is single car qualifying, and it's 1 lap. So each driver gets 1 attempt to set a time here, and if they make a mistake, hit a wall, that could signal the end of their run where they have to start in the back, or even worse, maybe miss the show entirely if they're not locked in with the charger. So Joel Rodriguez going to come off the last second corner here. Obviously, purple sector here at the very least, because he is the first car to set a time. That's usually indicative of what time he's setting here. But he'll be the torch setter, the trend setter, the one that everyone will have to beat. Hopefully he sets a time that other drivers can challenge and maybe not beat if you're a Joel Rodriguez fan. So coming down to the trial here, across the line, where will Joel Rodriguez slot? Obviously first, and
yeah,
it's going
we're gonna
to be
have
a time of 39
to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, solid first run to set the pace for tonight. Again, as Kevin mentioned, it's single car qualifying here. Now is the number 20 machine of DJ Trout as he goes on his laps. But yeah, the single car qualifying, something very unique. But with the dynamic track updates, or I guess oval refreshes, what they've called it, it may matter a bit more than it did in the past. It might be a little bit more than just having the right weather or the right, timing as far as that goes. It could be helpful to go out last because the track could have a little bit more heat in it.
You are correct. Obviously, that with HTL running kind of similar-ish sessions, if you will, or times, we may see that happen. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as DJ Trout crosses the line. Going to slot in P2, about 6 tenths behind, or 0.06 tenths behind Joel Rodriguez, but right now on the front row. But again, still a long session to go here. So that's going to pivot us nicely to looking to see who it is. It's Austin Mongold. Did not make the show last week, but looking to make the show this week. Had a great run in the truck series, though, in that, it's not the 4 truck, he's in the 31 truck, had a good run there in the 200 laps of Rockingham. So looking to have a good show here at Michigan and maybe get some experience for tomorrow night's truck series race, also at Michigan here on ABN1.
Absolutely. Comes down.
Gotta plug the other streams when you have a chance.
Absolutely. 191 across the line. That's a bit over 300 kilometers for those who may not use the Freedom units. Very fast speeds for single car trim around here. Mongold takes the top spot as it stands in qualifying. And I think Caleb Eichler is now the next car on track.
You would be correct. Caleb Eichler just started a flyer here. Obviously, at least the positive is unlike Rockingham and other short tracks, it's not going to be that easy to invalidate your lap as long as you can keep it off the wall. But with being multiple grooves, most cars are obviously going to want to drift to the lower side, get through the apex, pinch it low. But you're going to see those brave drivers that are going to run that middle groove or even try to get close to the wall to really set their time down. So with the dynamic grooves and trying to avoid the seams, we'll see how it plays, but not going to be easy to invalidate. So it's all going to come down to pure run and pure speed to make this happen. So as Eichler comes off a 4 here, instead of time, going to cut the dog leg. Can he jump Mongold?
I don't know. He looked a little squirrely on both ends of the racetrack, so he's only going to be 4th fastest, which is unfortunate. Bia Constantinu is one that we're going to want to keep our eyes on, though. She seems very quick in the Lewis Hamilton Monster Energy 57. I don't know if that was a netcode touch to the wall or not. We'll have to find out, but if that was not a netcode touch, she may have just thrown her lap away right there. But if it was netcode, of course, she's from Romania, so she has one of the higher pings of the drivers on the grid. If her lap is still valid, it probably will be a pretty quick time. Maybe expect a top 10 run from her.
I'm looking at the replay back, my perspective. She got very close. And I don't think she touched it, so I'm leaning close to a netcode situation here. Obviously, we'll find out as she crosses the line here. The Romanian driver across the board here, and it will not count. So it wasn't a validation.
Touch it. So she's
very
gonna have
close.
all to do from the rear tonight.
Very close indeed. Now we'll cut to the 61 of Josh Gaiman. Now back in the blue and yellow, which is a skeet color palette I have seen him run very, very much in the ABN. Not ABN, sorry. The ARCS Cup Series. So definitely seeing him back in that paint scheme froze me back to that 36-week series I did previously. But Josh Gaiman obviously going to make good run here. Looking to get that truck, obviously after after last week having an incident early on in the Rockingham 200. Obviously took him out very early in the race. Looking to go a little bit longer here tonight. So as he cuts down through the dog leg here to try to put 10 a time, where will he slot that 61? Up to pole position. So that is going to be pole for the 61 car. Looking at how far it was, he was well clear by about 2/10. So definitely a tough time to beat, and that will bring us nicely to Blake Henderson.
Yeah, we see Gaiman typically towards the front of the field, so it's good to see him still on form despite all of the issues he's been having across the board. Honestly, he's had some horrible outings lately. It's kind of been the story of Josh Gaiman, unfortunately. He'll come into a race, and whether it's an unforced error or not, something takes him out of the running in just about every discipline the boy's been in. So hopefully he can get something turned around tonight. Blake Henderson looking to turn around his season. He's only got 2 more chances, really, to make it in to the chase.
Yeah, we've seen it before, and we've seen it since, where it just takes one good run, one good lunge, and you can make something happen. We saw it last week with Sosi taking home the victory after a very poor season. It all gets made a mute point if you can bring home the checkered flag. So here's Matthew Boone in the 28. Blake Henderson obviously just came in 6th fastest, so definitely a bit on the slower side, especially with Eichler's bobble. It's going to have a long way to go in that 25. But Matthew Boone coming out of 2 here in this white and blue. Oh, almost touches the wall there.
I think he may have hit it. So
yeah, I think that was a wall hit.
He's either going to have it invalidated, but at the very least going to lose a heap of time trying to keep that car out of the wall.
Yeah, you could see by the MPH reader there, he was about 200 when he was coming off that corner there, and it swatted it down right to 186, 180, way lower. So, yeah, that is not going to be good here. We'll see, though, if it counts or not. Matthew Boone across the line. It actually will count, but puts him tied with Blake Henderson. But by the slimmest of margins, it'll be Boone jumping Henderson right now.
Boss lady on track. Everybody scoot your chairs forward. Get on the edge of your seats.
The one that cuts my checks.
Absolutely. And mine, too. Yeah.
I guess we have to say nice things
Oh,
about her.
no!
Oh, no!
Well,
That's going to be a wall tap there.
yeah, and I don't know. That's obviously going to be an invalidated lap time, but she may miss the show because of that.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good chance here. She's on the apron right now. She
Yeah,
definitely knows
abandons
that
the
lap. So that will cut us to Tommy Withers in the 2. Tommy Withers obviously not on a flyer yet, coming to start a flyer. So we'll get a little extra run with the high noon number 2 here. So we'll see what this Ford can do.
You know, there's something to that. We've seen 2 cars now in a row, 2 or 3 in a row, come out of turn 2 and find that wall.
3 if we count Constantino as well.
Yeah, I don't know that I would count her because she clipped the wall going on entry.
Yeah, that was out of
just
1.
Kinda, I don't want to say
no.
lazy. I think that was just a misplacement of the car. But we've seen a couple drivers come out of there, and we've seen a few more get squirrely. I'm starting to wonder. There's traditionally not a lot of grip down there, but I'm wondering if there's even less grip right now with maybe something with the track not the track temperature necessarily, but maybe some wind gusts down there. Maybe the temperature in general just a bit too high. I'm not sure, but
maybe. Because we also saw it with Eichler and Henderson and Boone, so multiple cars have fallen prey to that.
12-mile-an-hour wind. Withers goes third fastest, though.
Which is going to slide nicely between Mongold and Rodriguez, putting himself firmly in the show. Zachary Meredith up next, obviously our defending champion here in the HTL Cup Series. Had a bit of a iffy show last week. Came from a lap down, get back in the running, and then still did not able to finish that race. So the 17, though, looking to get a good run here. Defend the championship with high-end honor here and set that good defense on a high note, I guess you could say. Try to give himself some good momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah, he needs that momentum. He's one of those drivers that needs to make something happen. He's not had a great season, and it would be a wild scenario for the defending champion to not make the chase the next year, but he's been known to rise to the occasion when it matters the most. He qualifies 4th place here, so we'll see if that late season surge that we saw last time out from Meredith last year is going to rear its head again.
Yeah, but you don't want to be going to the final race in Daytona needing a win or needing something
Absolutely
there.
not.
That always just screams desperation, and when you have multiple drivers in the field in that do-or-die situation, it screams disaster and it screams chaos.
And that's exactly why it's the last race before the chase.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it brings in the ratings.
Absolutely.
Elias Flores up next in the 99. We'll see what they can do here. Obviously in the A-Set sponsored machine as well here in the Camry. Coming off 3 and 4 here. Looking good so far, looking clean at the very least. We'll see if it's fast enough.
Across the line, 190. I mean, it's not a terrible lap, but it's only going to be enough for 7. So he is going to be faster than Eichler, Boone, and Henderson, but he is a good ways off of the leader yet, which is still Josh Gaiman as it stands. But Callie Height would like to try to say something about that if she can.
Yep, she's a strong car here. She's a strong driver as well, I should say. Both are very strong if you want to split hairs here. But looking through the rest of the field, there's definitely some drivers that I think could easily maybe put a jump on Josh Gaiman. Looking at some names that haven't gone yet. Hunter Peach, Caitlin Height, if we want to stay in the height side of the tree here.
Lilac Zero, too, don't count her out either.
Yep.
She's been working some we heard from Carmen, she's been working some interesting lanes, and we know how Lilac is with strategy and counterculture on the racetrack. She will always do what everybody else doesn't. But Callie Height is going to be 8th fastest, which is a pretty good qualifying run for her.
Yeah, no, good run for the 3 there. Going to just be behind Flores, but still going to be hopefully somewhere near the front. And that will bring us to Josh Arnold in the 55. Running a similar to scheme last week. Bill's paint scheme here. Another Bill scheme so far. It must be the... Actually, no,
it's actually back to Joey Logano, yeah.
Yeah, my mistake. Saw the blue and white there. Eyes kind of failed me there.
There's other Bills cars on the track. I don't know why so many Bills fans are in this series.
I was going to say that, too. I mean, I know they got a very passionate fan base, but considering...
So you say that because you want to throw shade. I say that because I don't understand what the Bills are, so...
I technically was not going to throw shade. They won this last Sunday, so hat tip to them at the very least. Still a long road to the playoffs.
Tennis
but
is
we'll
great.
Get off, yeah, we'll get off the sports talk here for a second here. You can tune in to AM radio for that. And we'll put 55 of Josh Arnold.
4th fastest.
4th fastest
Very
indeed.
well done.
So, good lap.
We talk about him every week, how he gets better, it seems, and gets more confident. And he actually reached back out and was like, that has in turn made my confidence even higher. So a little bit of symbiosis there, and he puts it up in the top 5 tentatively. So
listening some kind of information here. Just let on some news on Constantinu. She is chartered, so she would make the field.
Yes.
But she got a black flag for exiting pits unsafely.
So it wasn't the wall contact. She just never was going to make it anyway because she had a black flag. So
yeah, so she pits the pits unsafely, and that is the reason why her lap did not count, not the wall tap.
Good clarification there, because I was a bit surprised to see the contact disqualify her lap. So
yeah.
Caleb Carter.
Actually, other way around. Sorry, that was actually some false information. Caleb Carter finished up. She actually is not chartered. It was a bit of a correction here. So my mistake. She is not chartered.
She may not make the show, but I don't think Carmen is in a chartered ride either.
No.
Or is she? I don't remember.
I have been feeling it for 1 week so far.
Chairs.
Yeah, I can't give you that answer either. So I guess we'll be all surprised when it goes.
Sure
Caleb Carter,
somebody
obviously.
in Twitch chat will let us know as Proudfoot lets it hang out a turn number 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Caleb Carter obviously was following on board while we were doing a bit of a news brief there, and he will slot it in P13. Brandon Proudfoot over here, 31. Had a good run last week in Rockingham as well, coming off a 4 here. Going to try to set a time that can make the 31 proud. Going to cut the dog leg. It's looking decent so far. And as he comes across the line, check stopwatch, P4.
Yeah,
so right in, splits right where Arnold was. So we'll take Arnold's 4th and put Arnold down to 5th. And that will bring us nicely to Shad Swatsworth in the 18.
96 is chartered, to confirm, by the way. So Carmen will start at the tail end of the field, but she will make the show. Unfortunately for Constantinu, though, I don't believe that she will unless we have less than 36 cars attempting to qualify.
And looking to see who is left, I'll do some quick counts here. Tommy Reynolds is also not chartered as well, so if he has a mistake on his lap, he will also not make the show.
Well, I think if they both made mistakes, they do sudden death, actually, which is a thing that's happened before when we had too many drivers fail to set a time, as Shad Swatsworth goes 6th fastest. Very good time there. But that's happened before. We had 2 cars crash over one charter spot, or one unchartered spot remaining. So they actually let them go back out and do a second lap in a rare tournament event. So if that were to happen again, Constantinu might get bailed out, but she's going to have to hope everybody else screws up.
I can confirm there are currently 38 cars in this lobby at the moment. So
they would both just not go home. They would just both go home at that point if there were 2 mistakes. So
yep. So they would. Both drivers would need either another non-charter driver to fall out, or some combination of that to happen.
They need shenanigans to happen effectively to make the show.
Well, shenanigans breed shenanigans. But while we were talking about that, Stefan Oberstadt doing a lap here in the number 33, going to cross the line here, and it's going to be P6 for the Oberstadt. And they'll slot him right near Arnold and Stotworth. So the last couple drivers have kind of been in that top 5 delta there, and that will bring us nicely to Pacey Wygant, who won the Rockingham 200 Truck Series race.
And did phenomenal at the Cup race, too.
Yeah.
Also, fun thing to note, Callie Height was not supposed to qualify. She was... as Pacey Wygant hits the wall at a turn 2.
Yeah, that's not good.
So his lap will be invalidated, but Callie Height was not supposed to qualify. She was supposed to serve qualifying bans, so... I guess that one slipped through the cracks, but unfortunately, Wygant's dominance at Rockingham not going to continue here at Michigan, at least not in qualifying. Still, we saw what he could do at the Rock through working through traffic. I don't think that's the last we're going to see the 24 car tonight, but he's going to have to do it from the rear. Casey Ellis's turn now in that number 94 Ghost Machine.
Yep, 94 Ghost Machine here, coming to start a lap here. Felt like a very watermelon-esque paint scheme on that 94
You said that last week, too, and I don't disagree with you, but it always reminds me of, not Jolly Ranchers, but the Now and Laters, I think they are. Because they both have, they have the 2 flavors, which is the green and the pink, so.
Yeah.
There was also a front diffuser that was just laying on the apron there out of turn 2. I wonder if somebody's crashed out of the pit lane.
Maybe. Looking to see who maybe entered the track or something. I don't see anyone.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but there was a front fascia laying down there in turn 2, and this track is a little difficult to get off of pit road on, relatively speaking. Casey Ellis will beat Caleb Carter, but no one else in that run will be 16th fastest. Lilac Zier up next in the 50 car.
Oh, I think I can tell you who it may have been. I'm going to confirm something here while I look, but we'll let Zier do their lap here and see what they can do.
Yeah, so while you investigate that, this is the nice thing about the qualifying time is we do get some downtime to figure out what the heck happened, but...
Yep, I can tell you right now, it was Pacey Wygant who basically, after his failed lap, basically sent it hard into the wall as a bit of a seppuku moment, if you will, kind of a bit of a shame moment. So that is 24. He already did a lap and invalidated and took it into the wall for fun.
It was the frustration crash, understood.
Yeah, so that is not going to affect any car in the qualifying order. Zier just puts down a time, and that will put them 11th, right behind Trout and just ahead of Flores. Now Alfred Denny, who was one of those drivers that was the mover of last week's race, was able to get up there, carve the field a bit like butter, and is looking to try to keep that momentum going in the right direction for the 21.
You know, once things heat up, they're hard to cool back down. That's like Newton's law of relative, something like that. But anyways, hot knives and butter, once they're hot, they want to cut through more butter. I don't know. Alfred Denny's been fast the last couple weeks is what I'm trying to say. And he's trying to continue that now. I promise I'm sober.
I mean, I'll put it like this. If you take that knife, put it in a cryogenic freezer, then, yeah, that knife will cool
Well, then you
down
have Fallout 4's plotline.
Nah. Yes, you would. Anyway, Alfred Denny going to come across line. Oh.
No. Alfred Denny goes 17th fastest.
So far we've gone from sports to news to gaming. All right, so let's spin the wheel of topics next, and we'll let Hunter Peach do a lap, and we'll find out what's next on the conversation wheel after we already did one about candy as well. So Hunter Peach, obviously, did a great qualifying run last week, put the car in second position, ran quite well, but had a late race incident, put him out of the running late on, but had a good 180 laps beforehand, looking to keep that momentum going. And we remember, if we can turn our minds back, obviously some new viewers may not know this, he also ran here, no, that may have been Pocono for the Champ Car Series. I think he also ran at Michigan and had a strong Champ Car as well. But obviously, two different machines, two different ways to handle it. If you drive a Champ Car like you drive a stock car, you're not going to have as much success in either field. But as the one goes across the line...
Good sign, yeah.
It's not, but he'll qualify P5 as looks like we have a bit of a technical difficulties here. So we'll have to do this radio style.
Yes, we will.
Has to fix that up. So looking to see who's next at the moment. It is John Hagen who's next in the next flying lap. Obviously, John Hagen was our pole sitter last week. Has been taking names here, chewing gum and taking names. We'll go with the censored version here. And is looking to keep that momentum going. Very aggressive, though, so if he puts himself a bit behind the 8 ball, it could be in a situation where he may have to dig himself back out of it. So as Kristina resets the stream, so if you see obviously the black right now.
Yeah, we are officially on radio show. I'm not really sure what happened.
So do not go anywhere. The stream is still live. Well, the stream is still live. We are still talking. Just we're going to get that rebooted up. John Hagen will go P2 for his troubles. Can still no one beat Josh Gaiman. Felt like he had the best chance, but couldn't get it done.
Two Mustangs on the front row at this point, too, worth noting.
Again, Roger Penske smiling from ear to ear hearing this news. But yeah, looking at some sector times as the next car coming up across the line is going to be Mark Parkhurst, and then it will be Byron Jones. Parkhurst obviously coming around 1-2 right now. But looking at sector 2 times, just for kind of indicative, Tommy Withers set the fastest sector 2. So he had the fastest sector 2, but couldn't put the fastest in sector 1. So very interesting to note that then the second fastest was weirdly Hunter Peach and then Josh Gaiman. So there are some of the drivers that are getting that second sector as fast as our pole sitter. It's just that first sector by Josh Gaiman was better than the rest of the field around. So as that car crosses the line here that I just mentioned, he will slot his car, just make sure I got the name correctly here. It is the 90 at Parkhurst, and Parkhurst will slot it in P12, and that will lead to Byron Jones, who is now starting his flying lap here, the number 19. Again, Byron Jones, been pretty strong in the Truck Series at late, has gotten a win in said Truck Series, so obviously Cup Series run has been all right, but looking to keep that momentum strong in this now 19 Cup car here and see if he can qualify for the field. So it looks like we do got some things booting back up here at the moment. We'll see if iRacing plays ball with us here.
Would be nice, wouldn't it? There we go. There's Parkhurst in the pit lane. Apologies again for the outage there. Kyle Taub now on track in the 16th.
Well, first we got Byron Jones just finished the lap here, and Jones will now go
Second
slot
fastest.
somewhere. Thank you. I was looking down the board here, maybe a bit insulting to Byron Jones. But Kyle Taub up next, and now he will set a lap here.
Yeah, I don't know that it was insulting to him or just he put down a bit of a stellar lap because he is one of the newer faces around here. We haven't seen a whole lot of Byron Jones, so it's making a statement there. He will split the Ford Mustangs of Gaiman and Hagan, and we'll see what Kyle Taub can do in the Chevrolet. Again, if they were one of the drivers that just qualified that were affected by that, I'm not really sure. The iRacing freeze, I guess. Apologies for that outage, but big props to big man on campus, Kevin Young, for the radio calls. And now we have pictures back for, hopefully, the remainder of the broadcast.
Fingers crossed, because bad omens usually lead to bad situations, and if that happens late, I think Fistus may go through monitors. So anyway, Kyle Taub finishes up a lap there. He will slide at P15. That will bring us to Gary Donaldson, who will now start a flying lap in his Under Armour Ford. One interesting fact, at least I know on my SDK, for some reason, Gary Donaldson's name, all in caps. I don't know why his name's in caps and everyone else's is properly spaced. But
He's
yeah,
screaming his name from the top of the
it's
time
like
chart.
it's like those scenes in anime where you can see like who's the main character, who is that screams main character energy. That's a main character energy right there. Gary Donaldson.
So hold on, it's Gary Donaldson coming out of turn number 4.
If he has a blowover, then it will definitely fit in the situation
absolutely.
question. But as Gary Donaldson comes across the line here, he will put down a time.
All right, Gare Bear, 18.
18, right between Flores and Cali Height. And now that will bring us nicely to, speaking of a height, Caitlin Height.
You got him right this
11.
week.
Hey, there's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, Caitlin Height going to start a lap here in the number 11. Looking to do a time after Caitlin Height will be Jeremy Breo up next. Breo, remember, was a podium finisher last week.
Also,
Caitlin,
worth noting that Bobby Blowers is going to be the last unchartered car, it would appear. So that's who Bianca Constantinu is going to be wishing to hex. Because if Blowers turns any lap, he should. Well, I think he still has to beat the other unchartered car, but if he makes a mistake, then those two would have a face-off, I do believe. But
yeah, we'll have to see on that.
Katie goes 7th fastest, and as you mentioned, Breo. The Carolina Beagle up next.
Yep. Carolina Beagle's Jeremy Breo here. Won the HTL Daytona race. Obviously, Daytona next week. That fact may be a bit more prevalent there for the Truck Series. Other than that, though, he had a podium run last week after he took tires and was able to get that car up to 3rd, but couldn't go much farther. Wait, I think I'm crossing the streams here. I think I'm mixing up the truck race with the cup race. So the truck race that happened. But anyway, though, still good run by Breo there, at least at one of the Rockingham races, and now is looking to put down a good time here in Michigan.
Also, it looks like William Britton not going to attempt a qualifying lap. He is the other go-home driver, so he's decided that he would just go home. I'm not sure if he's had a technical issue or what, but it does not appear that he will take qualifying as Breo goes 21st fastest. That's a good blackjack right there. But now eyes are on Bobby Blowers because with the absence of Britton running a lap, this is pretty much do or die right here for Bianca Constantinu and Bobby Blowers. One of them is going to go home.
Britton had a pedal failure, so couldn't quali/race.
There you go.
That is what pegged Britton. Fun fact about Bobby Blowers, did all 400 laps in both the Cup and the Truck Series, finished 2nd in both races. So obviously Bobby Blowers, good podium finishes for both races there. Did the full 400 laps, which not a lot of drivers said they could. So he had his fill of Rockingham and then some. But now, obviously, in the uncharted 34, going to try to come across the line, and it's not going to be invalidated, so he will make the show.
He will make the show, and Bianca
and it's
will
gonna
not.
Be
it's
23rd.
only 23rd, but that's all he needed. Bianca Constantinu, who seemed to have a lot of pace with a qualifying mistake, is going home early now.
And you would be correct. The 2 cars that did not make it. Here's Joshua Sosi, obviously last week's winner. He will have the last chance to make a pole run here. But the 2 cars that will not make it, Constantinu and William Britton, they will both be the 2 cars that miss the show and will not be attempting another lap here tonight.
For Britton, it's just purely unfortunate to have a mechanical failure like that and not be able to even take your time. But then you have Bia Constantinu. She's going to be kicking herself for that one, I think. She definitely had the pace to make the show.
Reminds me of Michael Waltrip's crash in the 2011 Daytona 500 duels when he kind of merged up too quickly and ended up making mistakes. So Sosi across the line, and Sosi will make it third. So as that is going to be that for qualifying. So when Josh Gabin went out there, he set the fastest time that no one could beat. But it's worth noting at the very least, the session went on, other drivers were able to kind of get up there and lunge, but obviously
they've rewrapped
based on
the
results. Yeah, they have.
Again, not the race winner, what that graphic would tell you, but he is the pole winner. So congratulations to Josh Gaiman on that.
So let's get out the Sharpie here, and we'll just,
we'll
just do a few little ants there.
But congrats to him on the pole award. Coming up next should be a 5-minute warm-up, followed by the grid and the event, which will be a fun one. 100 laps around this 2-mile speedway. The last bastion of multi-groove, wide-open racing. And to much humor, Gaiman in the chat saying, no, I won. I actually did win. Everybody pack up and go home.
Hey, gotta have that confidence.
Hey, if he finishes a race at some point this season, he might just win one.
Yeah. He's got the pace.
He's just gotta finish the race, you know.
Look, it's 100 laps. It's less laps than last week, so.
Well, it's less laps than he ran. It's more laps than he ran last week, so.
True.
I kid because I care.
Just get the multiplier out there, like chance time. You just need to get a ×4 or a ×8. You'll get on your way. But anyway, warm up.
Here's a driver, by the way, who has made some really good gains this week. Caleb Eichler has struggled a lot this year and has failed to qualify for, I think, maybe 70% of the races that they've attempted. Makes the show and doesn't really make it by like a couple of like milliseconds. Like pretty safely, well done for that 45 car, and pretty nicely in the field. Not super high up, but you know, when the alternative is DNQing to make a top 20, top 30, I mean, that's not too bad.
Yeah. No, it always pays to make the race, and it pays, well, it doesn't pay money, but it pays to.
No, they
race
paid money.
Yeah.
It was the other way around.
Yeah, but it's still quite enjoyable to make the show, and obviously you don't want to let that money go to waste. So we're right here with well-followed DJ Trout, as he's currently in a little bit of an RG-bargy situation on this circuit, right behind the, can't even see the number on the thing, 99.
Flores.
Yeah, Flores. Had to wait for the shiny chrome numbers to come in view on my screen.
Oh, you don't like the Ascent Chrome?
I don't have a problem with it. It's just that when looking at that angle, I was like, I can't make out that number. I know it's gray and blue, but that could be a couple cars. But as DJ Trout's had enough, we'll make sure he doesn't want to lock it up pit lane, so that's another thing these drivers have to use this time. Yeah, good practice. Make sure you get these cars woe down, just in case we have green flag pit stops. You don't want to be in a situation where you smoke. Obviously, speed, you get the whammy police on you. Because if you see the berries in the mirror, that's going to be a ticket.
The cherries and berries. I have somebody else who says that. Oh my goodness. And we have Lilac Zier mentioned, I wish we had a telestrator. Well, as a matter of fact, it's quite primitive, but bear with me here. Bear with me. Let me just, we see the 99 there of Elias Flores coming into the pit lane, and
we got a John Madden in the booth.
Yeah, you can see there's a car in the background right there. That's where you don't want to overdrive it, but then over here is where you're going to want to be when the checkered flag flies. So
yep. And then right there, as you'll see coming up right there, that's the victory circle where you want to park the car.
There,
yeah,
is where you want to put the checkered flag.
And right here, the big circle that covers the whole track. This is Michigan.
Yeah, if in case anybody wasn't aware, this is Michigan. Thanks for being here.
At least on the bright side, as Waldo appears in the crowd, we can use that to point him out.
Here, look, you can see look at the crew chief there.
Yeah.
Look at him studying. I don't know what he's looking at, but he is.
I gotta get that crew chief though, matching fire suits with the tent in question.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's the Casey Ellis machine, the now and laters that we were talking about earlier. That's Casey Ellis' crew chief right there.
I guess it fits. I mean, yeah, I guess it fits. Green fire suits, pink tent. Yeah, right. That's quite fitting situation indeed. Yeah. Right in front of Tommy Withers' pit crew box too. So that's how.
Indeed. which is the high noon, because you can see that because of right there. So it does come in handy. We've used it quite a few times this season. It's come in clutch, but
very educational.
Yeah, I do. That was DJ Trout taking a wild ride down on the infield, but I will say, I would really love to have the proper telestrator so I could draw a smiley face, but we can't do that yet.
Not yet.
We don't have the technology.
We can rebuild it.
We can rebuild. So, if you're wondering why it's the Chrissy and Kevin comedy hour, there's 16 minutes left in pre-race warm-up, and then we get the actual thing you came here to see, the race. So,
I mean, why not use the 5 minutes to practice our stand-up careers?
Oh yeah, well, there's a reason why we're in the booth for esports and not in some dive bar right now telling crappy jokes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to be here at the very least. Less tomatoes being thrown. But
hey, I don't know. Were you here for Milwaukee? It was. Well,
anyway,
with that
will take us to the end of warm up here, and now we will get ready to start this 100-lap race.
Absolutely. And as the field gets ready to grid again, we already know who the pole sitter is, and he seems pretty confident and keen on making sure that it ends up with him in victory lane at the end of the night as well. Josh Gaiman takes the pole position here, alongside Byron Jones, who has made a very big statement in his qualifying effort tonight. Congrats to him to make the front row. And then just behind them, it's going to be Joshua Sosi and John Hagen, two very strong drivers throughout this season. Austin Mongold and Tommy Withers putting down both some fantastic times for each of them. They will start from row number 3, ahead of Brandon Proudfoot and Katie Height, probably two of the most rawly talented drivers as far as car control goes in the entire field. Watch for them to try to make some early charges up towards the front from that 4th row. Hunter Peach and Josh Arnold, two drivers who have both been slowly but surely getting more confident and more pace every single week. It's coming in pairs here through the top 10, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It's coming in 10s in pairs indeed. There's row 6, Stefan Oberstadt, Shad Swatsworth getting me in row 6 here. Zachary Meredith and Joe Rodriguez in row number 7. Row 8 is going to take us to Parkhurst and Trout of Mark and DJ fame. Kyle Taub and Lilac Zier in row 9. And then row 10 will be Ellis Flores and Gary Donaldson making up the top 20. Now we'll go down more of the pairs here.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit further, you have Callie Height, who evaded the qualifying ban, and Jeremy Breo. Now, it is clarifying that she was told to qualify, so I guess an oversight on the admin team, so I guess she'll hold on to that. She'll be starting alongside Breo. Those are two very feisty drivers sitting in 22nd and 21st, respectively. Caleb Eichler, we mentioned having a career day in qualifying and putting, I think, a career best qualifying on the board alongside Bobby Blowers, who didn't have to do anything crazy, just had to make the show, and that's exactly what he did. Matthew Boone and Blake Henderson, two drivers who have more experience in one thumb than probably half the drivers in the top 10. Both of them looking to turn their seasons around. Both of them having terrible seasons. They both have misery-loving company in row 13. A little bit further down yet, we have 14th row with Alfred Denny and Casey Ellis, and then Caleb Carter and Pacey Wygent, who had an incident in his. William Britton fails to make the field due to a mechanical failure. Nathan Lehman will make the field but did not qualify. Eli Sasek and Zachary Apperson likewise banned from the qualifying this weekend, as is Pelletier Sharp, and Bianca Constantinu will fail to qualify, which leaves us Nathan Estep and Carmen Sienna to round out the final bit of this. It'll be row 18 instead of 19 with those two drivers that failed to qualify, and that sets the field for tonight's event here at Michigan. And with just a few minutes to go, we see the weather now showing up on the screen. Big gusty winds, Kevin, 15 mile an hour. That is more than enough to disturb these race cars.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a scary wind here. Obviously, you expect that more in Kansas than Michigan at the very least. But at the very least, so yeah, that is definitely going to upset the cars here. Obviously, if this was a champ car or something else, it'd be even more disastrous. But a cup car can take it a bit, but it definitely can affect the line going in. At least on the bright side, there's no rain in the forecast. It's a nice, sunny, clear day. Just some very strong winds coming from the southeast.
Yeah, there is no rain in the forecast, but what is in the forecast is an ever-evolving racetrack. This is the first HTL event since the oval refresh that just dropped in the latest build. And what better track to test that out on than one that has always been a multi-groove circuit? Again, the last bastion of multi-groove racing here in Michigan now. It has outlived Auto Club. Can it put on as good of a show? We'll have to find out. The pace car half a lap away. Who you got your eyes on, Kevin?
I don't know. There's a lot of cars here. You could definitely, Sosi, obviously last week winner, definitely someone to keep an eye on as well. Currently in P3, John Hagen. It's been a strong force in that 64, currently in 4th. Throw out one more wild name here. I'll just put my finger on the screen, and we'll say Hunter Peach starting in 9th. Definitely another eye to keep on as well. So those would be my 3 drivers to keep an eye on by just looking over the timing and scoring. So pace car going to come off here, and I think we're going to get ready to start this thing.
Absolutely. 3 drivers you've got your eye on to win this race. 36 of them all eyeing that trophy as they come into the Geico restart zone. Gaiman leads us down, and we are underway here at Michigan. Already one car sliding to the inside lane there. I think that was Steven Overstat.
I think
perhaps it was part
Overstat.
I think it was
nope.
It was one of the Carolina Beagle cars. I think fading in lane. It wasn't Overstat. It was Overstat's teammate. But they keep it going in the right direction. So well done there. End of the first lap. Josh Gaiman leads over a 81 machine of Josh Sosi. John Hagen is up a position. And down 2 spots is the number 19, but that will slowly rectify itself as we get the cars up to full song. Now temperatures should be up on the temperatures and the pressures as Gaiman finds the wall out of turn 2. We talk about it every week, these unforced errors from him.
Again, it is at the end of the day, in the cockpit, your own worst enemy can be yourself.
Yeah.
When you look in the mirror, you got to focus that you are your own worst enemy. Don't focus on the cars behind. Focus on what's in front. And it's always hard to get them a ball rolling, but when you can, things can obviously change here.
Nice
you can see cars obviously
by Byron Jones through 3 and 4, tried to slot up in front of that 31 machine of Proudfoot. Proudfoot crossing over, and here comes Katie Height for good company as well. Yeah,
just watching these 2Y battles, a lot of situations, almost 3Y battles beginning the throw here. We had this prediction in the pre-race that we were going to see 2Y, 3Y. The car is way off there. It is the 17 of our defending champion of Meredith, had going a little wide there. Obviously, great run there, second 2 last time by, set of purple sector. So he has that 17 dialed in at the very least. However, there is risk that if you can ride yourself to ruin if you don't keep that bowl under control. So Sosi going to lead another lap here. Obviously, cars dipping, diving, weaving. John Hagen up to second here. So can I say 2 out of 3 drivers I predicted have good races right now, obviously, in second. I'd like to cash up my chips now if I can.
Well,
before we finish up
for
here.
you, that's not how betting works. We still got 96 laps of this to go, and it's been a great start so far. A couple cars getting squirrely here and there, but nobody really having a big oopsie except for perhaps Callie Height. I think she may have had to start from the rear, maybe the pit lane. She's 10 seconds off the pace of the leaders, running by herself.
Yeah, I'll take a quick look here to see exactly what happened, but looking at all the laps so far, she was alone for most of it.
I think they may have made her start from the pit lane to correct the qualifying ban evasion that they messed up. So
yep, you are correct. Obviously, it's a bit of a shame there because she obviously didn't know the
it wasn't her fault. But
yeah, so she starts in the pit lane, luckily, though, in the show still, at the very least, but that is why she is now 10 seconds back, not from damage, just because of a pit lane start is the reason why, so she'll need a caution to reel this thing back in.
And lucky for her, there are 2 stage breaks in this race as well, so she will get one eventually.
Just got to make sure you don't keep that car from going 1 down. Yes. So back up here at the front, you can see Sosi, Gaiman, Hagen, Proudfoot, Jones now making a move for 5th place in front of Caitlin Height. So that is the top 5 with Height now kind of fall back here under pressure here from Tommy Withers as well. The top 5 getting a bit of a breakaway here at the very least. Top 6 actually, I should say, as Height is still there. So top 6 breakaways. We get a nice little side shot here from the 23 Sidware machine.
Watching Hagen lose it out of turn 2.
Yeah.
Good save, though. Good heads-up driving. Here's a battle for the lead now as he gets up alongside Josh Sosi. So after smacking the wall, doesn't seem like it's hurt that car too much.
Now paying attention to the mirror, they're 3 wide for third here. Proudfoot, Height, and Hagen. Remember, they had a run-in last week all together here. Height and Hagen may not be the most frosty with each other right now, as they all keep it straight here, but it's going to be Proudfoot keeping third, Height the fourth, and now one little mistake you can see by Hagen, already falling down the fifth, now almost sixth. So if you make a mistake, it can easily cost you time. This is a battle for lead raging on. It's Gaiman going to try to ride it around the high side here, and he'll take back the lead, put Gaiman back up to the point, put Sosi back to second.
Yeah, he led the lap, held on side by side through turn number 1 and 2, and will take that outside lane back to the front. Proudfoot up to third now as well. Sosi falling back just a little bit. We saw Height side by side with Proudfoot, so it was interesting to note that the car on the outside lane in the first row won, while the car on the inside lane in the second row ended up getting the win from that battle because Height was on the outside. So she falls back just a touch now. The battle back to the front now, looking like it might be a 3-horse race for the lead because Proudfoot is high, wide, and handsome in that 31 machine, and he makes the move now on Sosi.
I'm kind of an eye in the back of this pack. You're right around with Zachary McBride, Austin Mongold, Blake Hennis, right outside the top 15 as we keep this battle for the lead going. I'm just watching this a little bit back here. I'm just seeing how racy they are back here. They're taking runs, making it 3 wide, not giving an inch, giving respectively inches here. They are making this multi-groove racetrack work to his advantage here. And neither car wants to truly get away or can break away here. It just seems everyone's pulling each other out. But we're still riding on board here with our race leader at the moment, Proudfoot. As you see Gaiman give him a nice little tap there, get the Ford Mustang a nice little upshot there to the rear camera. And now Gaiman will slot back in line for second here.
Yeah,
so 1, 2, 3.
Made some really big moves on the inside lane. He really seems to be sending it in there. Of course, he's a dirt track racer. He's used to pulling the slide job, so it's a move he's accustomed to. But it got him the position on Katie Height, and it's what ended up getting him the position on Gaiman. So Sosi led. Gaiman led the opening stanza, the first lap or two, then hit the wall, which handed the lead to Sosi until a few laps ago, where Gaiman took the lead back, and now Proudfoot leads. So we've had 3 different leaders, 4 lead changes, and we're only 10 laps into this thing, and I don't think they're done yet, Kevin, because that is Katie Height and Katie Height and John Hagen knocking on the door. 5 cars in lane here, all fighting for the lead of this race 10 laps in.
Yeah, they let Brian Jones bit in the dust. I should say Joel Rodriguez was able to jump up to 6th position here, but they've got a bit of a gap here. 5-car breakaway. Obviously, that will be negated by a caution or a stage break.
There's the gap.
Everyone comes through, but you just see, not really often you see that happen here.
Oh, Sosi!
Yeah, we'll have to hold that thought.
Good save, though. Again, we've seen some great saves from the leaders out front here. They've had the opportunity to just about get away with it, but definitely a brown pants moment here. Meanwhile, Katie Height going to try to take advantage of past 2 cars on one straightaway, because with the 81 getting out of shape, it allowed her to get 1 position. Then she made a move on Gaiman, so now she's gone up another position and finds herself from 4th to 2nd and staring at the back bumper of the leader. We may have another lead change here as the tires change hands.
Yeah, the only thing, obviously, Caitlin Height, a very good tire saver in her own right here. Some of these drivers that can save their rubber is definitely going to put themselves in a good spot to put charges towards the lead. So tire saving could be the name of the game here. But I do wonder and maybe a bit worry as this run goes on. You see these tires begin to wear. This is the front, now the back, now the front of the 11 machine. I do worry those tires wear on here. Are we going to see the cars kick out? Are we going to see pressure mounting to the point where cars cannot save it? Cars will have trouble keeping the thing under wraps and may even wreck out, because we've seen some great savings, but you put wear on those tires, it becomes a bit harder to keep that car under control.
Yeah, it's tough to say, and I think in a normal scenario, normally we would have the answer very easily be yes, but with the dynamic track being not the be-all, end-all savior of oval racing, but it has made a difference. It is, you know, they say it's phase 1 of the oval refresh. It really is making a difference, especially on tracks like this track and Auto Club, where those multi-lane grooves were a thing anyways. It's not quite as cut and dry, Kevin, because you're right. The more that you slide the car, the more you're going to take grip out of the tire, the harder it's going to be to save a slide next time around. And vice versa, if it's the front tire, the more likely you're going to pound the wall out of turn number 2 or turn number 4. However, the track is going to continue to heat up and get more grip generated in those lanes that they're not normally running. Like right now, John Hagen maybe not getting the most momentum there in that absolute outside lane, but give it 30, 40 laps and enough people run up there, he's going to find grip, because that's how it works now. So they'll lose tire grip, but the track may gain grip as time goes on, and it may actually get better, but it's not going to be something we're going to know until it happens, unfortunately. But that's kind of the fun of it. It's not quite as cut and dry as it used to be.
No, I agree with you on that point as well. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's obviously a new dawn for Opal drivers and commentators alike. They'll have to kind of judge the situation on the fly, see what can be, and see what situations arises from it, and see how these car drivers adapt. Because the best drivers adapt to ever-changing situations here. But as we still focus on the front battle here between the first two here, they're starting to pull a little bit away from John Hagen here, as there's been a gap forming here about 4/10. Still makeable, but top two beginning to break away at the very least here, trying to make it a dogfight between the two of them.
Yeah, and how many times have we seen this? The 31 and the 11 battling each other. We saw it last season multiple times back when Proudfoot was with Stepping Stone Motorsport. I think this is these two drivers have a lot of respect for each other. They're two of the more experienced drivers. We mentioned it in the broadcast when we were doing the starting lineup. Two of the most raw, talented drivers as far as just driving cars and car control. We said they'd find their way to the front, and now here they are battling for the lead. Tires wear off a little bit. Some of the driving starts to show. Some of the conservation, the knowledge that both of these drivers have starts to show from completely different backgrounds. Katie Hyde, an oval racer through and through, but also has plenty of prowess in open wheelers. Formula One is something she's cut her teeth on for a long time. And then you've got Proudfoot, who's very much a dirt guy. He's been a dirt dude from the very beginning. He's run the trucks, he's run the late models. He's been a pro driver in that on iRacing. Two completely different backgrounds, but a lot of respect between these two and a lot of wins in the stat column for them both as well. So you're watching two of probably the best in the league going at it.
I mean, I've seen both drivers in question win in two different disciplines, in two different series, in two different types of cars. So they both are very successful in their own fields. And I've seen both, and obviously not being as much in tune with the HTL Cup Series, obviously as I've been filling for Carmen, who's usually here on Monday Night Jeep. By the way, quick update on her. She is currently back in 32nd right now, as we'll ride aboard here with just for a second. But to finish my point, though, is that I've seen these battle last week, Rockingham. They respect each other. They give each other room. They battle respectively, and they know how to take each other to the limits of their cars in question. Good foils, if you will. One brings the best performance out of the other, and vice versa. Basically, two egos eating each other and devouring each other, basically, and putting themselves forward. If you got that reference, congratulations on you. But anyway, though, we can see right there, Caitlin
just shoving him off into the corner.
Yeah, maybe the pressure in the mirror beginning to form a little bit with the 11, seeing that both Sosi and Hagen both keeping up here. So maybe a little bit of I wouldn't say desperation, but a situation of, hey, let's get going. Don't allow them to catch up here. We don't need to make this a race between 4, but we keep it for 2. A little bit further back, Hunter Peach, another driver that's have to keep an eye on, up to 5th. Just getting around Josh Gaiman here. So Gaiman getting to fall back hard.
I think that damage is starting to show itself a little bit. I love this camera angle here because you can see the wheel actually moving from John Hagen there out of turn number 4. We'll watch it here as he goes off into turn 1. You can actually see him turning the wheel a bit. You'll see those tires. See how you can see him turning in. He's turning awfully hard to the left here, trying to get that car tapered down to the bottom, try to find that grip. But watch as he might counter steer a bit here. You see the wheel wiggling around as he tries to find grip. He actually knocks down the wall a little bit there, and he really panicked on the wheel. So they're battling right up there in front of him. He's got the best seat in the house for the lead. Katie's finally going to go for it down off into turn number 3. They're going to be side by side. This is on board with her as they make contact for the lead now. And this might be a 3-horse race because Sosi's going to have better momentum than all of them. And is going to just about turn Katie Height down the front stretch.
Yeah, I was
they just about got her up.
If I was Sosi, and right now if I was in 3rd, I wouldn't. I know it goes against every racing incident in the book, but I wouldn't have took that run. It just screamed pain, if you will. It screamed like a bad situation.
And it nearly ended up that way.
Yeah, obviously it would have been Height with the worst pain out of 3 if it went a different direction, but we keep it clean and we keep it green. Well, semi-clean, but at least it still stayed green. So we'll move a little bit further back here.
Yeah. As you mentioned, Hunter Peach starting to actually pull away a little bit from the 19, who has stabilized, it's worth noting. So Jones has found footing there, and then Arnold and Swatsworth just behind. So good runs so far for them. We are nearing the end of stage number 1. I believe it's going to be on 25. If
that would make sense. Yeah. 25, 50, and 100 to finish. That would be
typically what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the logical approach here. Gaiman definitely going to be praying white flag out 1 the stage to end quicker here, just because he's down the 9th. Probably could fall outside the top 10 if he is not careful here. So he's definitely hoping that happens. But obviously, stage points matter. Want to get that car up where you can get every point can matter, especially with the cutoff race being next week at Daytona. You don't want to leave things a chance. Get as many points as you can and make sure you put yourself in a spot where you can help yourself.
Well, he's also got a win in his back pocket, so it's not.
Yeah, some of these drivers have it. Yeah, some of these drivers have it.
A lot of them don't, though.
Yeah, in that top 10, there's some drivers that don't, and any little points can happen. We've seen it countless times throughout many races, have cutoffs and what have you, is that you do not want to leave points on the table like, oh, it's okay, 10th would be better than second, and then next thing you know, you miss out by 2 points, and like that second place would have firmly put you.
Boy, are they ever getting aggressive there in the back. You see Height getting a nice run again to the 31, but not going to take that move yet. It's worth noting these two work together quite a bit, even though they aren't teammates, because they do, like we mentioned, all that respect they have for each other. They kind of help each other out when they can, so it's not super surprising to not see them racing super hard. We did see Height make a move or two once the cars behind got up to the back bumper of that 11 car. And she is looking like she's getting a bit more racy here, trying to sell a dummy to the Proudfoot machine out front there maybe. There's a couple laps to go on the stage, so now they're going to race a bit. Proudfoot finds the safer barrier, so that's going to give her another really good run. I think she's probably going to take it. No, going to tuck in, maybe try to go to the high side, not quite sure, but this is going to open the door for Sosi now. 3-horse race, coming to 2 to go in what we believe would be stage number 1.
Yep, I wonder how aggressive are you going to be? You're like, obviously Sosi has to win. Doesn't need to be aggressive.
All three of these drivers, yeah, they don't need to force the issue, but that's exactly the point where they all have wins, so they're all looking for playoff points.
Yeah, and it raises a question here at the very least is, in that regard, is obviously you're fighting for victory, but you don't want to put yourself, obviously since it's stage 1, you don't obviously get a benefit for winning the stage. The only thing that pays out the trophy is winning the race in the end. You can win all the stages. We do actually have a caution here. That will take us to 91. That's had the incident in question. See him slow on the back.
Bobby Blowers with heavy damage as well.
Yeah, Joel Rodriguez, Tommy Withers, Blake Henderson, all the cars involved. And this will end the stage here prematurely, but those three along with... Yeah,
we're on
that stage end.
There. But yes, that will conclude the stage, which means it'll be Proudfoot, Height, Sosi, Hagen, Peach, Jones, Swatsworth, Arnold, Zier, and Gaiman. The point scorers. This is what brings out the first caution, and that's a pretty violent wreck.
Yeah, nowhere to go for the 91. 34 maybe try to clear there, and
and that's the 2 as well. And I think that was that the 25. If that was Henderson, I'm gonna lose it.
That Blake Henderson was involved. That is Henderson.
What rotten luck his entire year has been. Yeah, so this wreck happens in front. We're right on board. Yeah, with Tommy Withers.
Yeah.
You're going to see the wreck happen way up front here. Withers struggling a lot with the grip. You mentioned that too, how the driver's going to do with the grip once the tires fall away. Oh my goodness, just picked the wrong lane and then gets clobbered
by Blake Henderson.
Yeah. I mean, that's a 1-2 punch for Withers.
Yeah.
Take one more look at it here and see.
We'll follow on board here with the 91, Joel Rodriguez.
Yeah, Bobby Blowers down on the bottom, down on that seam, and as he comes up, the 91 got loose and came down as the 34 is coming up. Parker's nowhere to go. DJ Trout nowhere to go. So
Trout was actually kind of there too. Looks like it was something he made it 3 wide. If Trout wasn't there, they may would have saved it. But then
Target
obviously
sensation in the background there, yeah.
Yeah, and Henderson and Tommy Withers both had mistakes, and that is going to be day done for Joel Rodriguez. He has taken it behind the wall, obviously with that big of a lick, but that is going to be curtains, and he will be the first car to retire officially here tonight from active racing competition. Well, for the ones that made the show. Obviously, here's the race off pit lane here. A bunch of cars, almost the whole field obviously come in because obviously
stage break,
tires here, because it's a stage break. Proudfoot will take lead. Yep, top 4. Everyone took 4 tires, so it was just up to the virtual crews here. Gaiman obviously fixing damage, so he will obviously fall down the order a bit here.
Shout out Chad Swatsworth gaining a spot or 2 in the pit lane there in the number 18.
Yeah,
he will now be 5th, so he will move up a few spots and get himself in position. Pacey Wygent, we mentioned we would not see the last of him after his qualifying error. He now finds himself in 10th position, so a good run there as well.
Good runs for both right now. Obviously going to use his momentum for stage 2. Looking at the cars still in pit lane at the moment. We got Trout, Donaldson, Blowers, Henderson, Sharp, and Withers. Most of those cars involved in the previous wreck, and you can see Bobby Blowers' wrecked car. Blake Henderson will keep it going here, so it's not curtains for Henderson, but that engine is definitely not going to be at the strongest. Trout obviously also leaving the pit lane as well. There's Carmen Sienna, not involved in the wreck, but could use this wreck to gain some spots here.
Up to 29th now, so inside the top 30. Going to be right behind Mark Parkhurst, who was affected by that crash. So wounded car. I think she's going to come in and top off. She's just kind of rolling around right now, finding her footing, and we'll see what she can do. But at the front, they start to double up when we get ready to go racing once again for stage number 2. It'll be probably to lap 50.
Yep, I just heard it on radio, comes from right down from the radio tower, I should say. It is going to be lap 50 that we'll be going back green.
Are you so smart, Kevin, using our context clues?
I know. Yeah, I know. I'd like, they'd be proud of us. Detective Sherlock Holmes would be definitely proud of us for using our basic rudimentary skills to figure out when that would happen. It's elementary, dear Holmes.
Yes.
Quite is.
So what that does mean is that this will be a slightly shorter stage than stage 1 by about a lap. So because the stage ended a lap early, so we had 24 laps basically of racing. We'll have 23 laps of racing when we take the green flag here to get to lap 50. Therefore, this will be 1 lap shorter of green flag racing if it does go green all the way, which means we will not see green flag pit stops if it does go all the way.
Yeah, no, because they will have the fuel to make it at the very least. We'll see, obviously, at the end of stage 3, but for the final stage, but at least for now, they are good. 1 car currently not on the track still. Tommy Withers, obviously, still at the pit lane right now. Everyone else still running at the moment. Joe Rodriguez, only retirement. But that will be a quick race summary. We are going to get back going green.
Yeah, absolutely. Proudfoot and Sosi lead us down. They get a great jump, and we're back underway for stage number 2.
Check through the field here. Check a little bit of battles we have up and down the field here. Obviously, most of the cars here playing Posh. Bobby Blowers, obviously, you've seen that wounded machine there playing situation. But here's Height and Hagen fighting hard here for 3rd.
Yeah, ding, ding, ding. This should be a fun one to watch between these two. As up front, it is Proudfoot just a touch over Sosi. See Sosi there trying to catch up. They're single file here. So this is a side-by-side battle within the top 5 for that final spot on the podium. You also see, I think it's Pacey Wygent in the background. Yes, it is, because Jones is right behind Height right now. So Wygent inside the top 10 well and truly, and starting to make more ground. So here's Jones looking into the inside of Height. That is Hunter Peach right behind as well, with Katie's teammate Shad Swatsworth in the 18. Hagen is going to lead this battle for the moment, though, and because he's side-by-side behind him, he's going to love to see that in the mirror. Allows him to break away a little bit. Back at the front, though, it's the 31 machine. Brandon Proudfoot ahead of Sosi.
Yep, battle between these two. We're having a bit of a battle. We saw before. It got interrupted by the caution at the end of stage 1. And it's continued, obviously, wing its ugly, well, I won't say ugly head. Ugly head implies it's not fun or not interesting to watch here, but it actually is quite enjoyable to watch. At the very least, and they'll definitely put a good battle down.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's been
top 2 here.
Been a fantastic start to this race. We've had a green flag all the way until the end of the stage. I know.
I was thinking it, but we don't want to bring Murphy's Law into consideration here at the very least.
Well, what about Schrodinger's caution? You know, if we
maybe. I mean, you could find a theory or a formula to back up anything here.
If a car crashes on the apron and no iRacing officials are allowed to scan it, does it bring a caution? The answer is no.
Yeah. But trust me, I've had many of races where like, oh yeah, it's running well, and then the wheels fall off.
Oh yeah,
so,
well, when there's 20 laps to go, all bets are going to be off anyway, but it's been a very solid start to the first stage. So, and it must be said that I only bring this up because it has been an abysmal early fall for this series, but the last 3 or 4 races have been much needed good races. When it's good that they've got this seemingly cleaned up. Of course, the new rules announced that have incident point limits, and a lot of drivers were upset about that, but it's pretty simple. Them's the rules. Whether it was your fault or not, if you get incident points, it's just how it is in iRacing officials. Deal with it, kid, is basically what they all said, and a lot of drivers hate it, but I can tell you one thing, Kevin, it absolutely has made a difference on how these drivers approach the races. And it is shown here. We've had one caution flag, which effectively acted as the stage break, so only one caution at all. It was a very convenient crash in 33 laps. Now, most people will be like, yeah, that's not very impressive, but I don't know. We had 25 cautions in some races. We have one car sliding down.
Overstat, who that is. Saw him drop down. He's now down to 22nd and continuing to fall here.
Good save, though.
Yeah, the bleeding will officially stop here right at 23rd. So again, saw him have a similar incident, or at least a car of Carolina Beagle descent having a similar incident.
At the start of the race, interestingly
yeah,
enough, you're right.
We saw that also qualifying. Quarter two, end of quarter two was a bit of a problem child. And
these
we
fresh
saw that
tires
now.
too, the pressures aren't quite up. They're cold tires. It takes a little bit to get them worn in, so yeah.
Yeah,
And that is where we had the caution come out too. Is that a turn two?
Correct. Byron Jones up to third now. Only thing I do worry about as the run goes on, will he be able to keep that pace going?
Hagen knocked down the wall there.
Yeah, Hagen, he lives or dies close to that wall. He likes to get on the throttle as early as he dares.
Well, you remember as well from the ABN Cup Series where I was in the car and you and Carmen were in the booth. He knocks down the wall about every week.
Yeah. At this point, he owns the wall reparations. He owns the wall payment plans. Yeah. When he's hit him. But that's his driving style. He hits it hard, but it's his live or die kind of attitude here. He's going to take that car to the front one way or the other. He doesn't care how he has to do it. If he has to mow down a couple walls to make sure he does it, it's fine.
I feel like that's the real dynamic track. If Hagen hits the wall enough times out of turn two, or enough drivers in general hit the wall out of turn two, that safer barrier bends back a little bit and you get a few inches of extra room.
Yeah.
If only.
Yeah, if only indeed. But every time the caution comes out, the virtual guys will go up and fix the safer barrier.
Can you imagine if they were running out there changing the foam blocks? That'd be so cool. But it wouldn't be as cool to Brandon Proudfoot, because that means that we'd be looking at virtual men changing styrofoam and not him leading the race.
No, yeah, he is putting on a massive limit right now. He's keeping that gap. Both the top two have pulled away from Byron Jones in third. Gap about a second. So they are making this work here, working each other. They know, hey, obviously there's another stage coming up at 50, which is coming closer than you would think.
Yeah.
But let's work together. No reason to fight. And it looks like we have a pit stop here. Kyle Taub coming in here. Heard it on the comms, currently a little bit further back.
I don't imagine that's a scheduled stop.
Yep. Nope. We'll see here. Obviously, he said he is coming in. I'll see if that's confirmed.
Yes, he is. There he is. He's pulling off. So an issue. Well, you can see there's quite a bit of damage on the right side of that car. So I think he may have picked up a meatball along the way.
Yeah. My guess he mowed something.
Oh, there it
down.
is. Yeah, look at that tire.
Oh, yeah.
It's destroyed.
Yep. So that is why he's come in and had to take service here for a base.
Oh, trouble the 19 of Byron Jones goes around in front of the field down the back straightaway. Are they all going to miss him? Yes.
They are.
But significant damage to the 19, who got turned by Katie Height down the back straightaway. Now we just caught the tail end of that. We'll see what happened there. I think it either would be a situation of the 11 sticking a run where it really shouldn't be, or the 19 clearing himself. Kevin, you be the judge.
I think it may have been a clear himself, because you can see Callie was kind of Caitlin. All right, that's my first error. Take a drink. But anyway, the 11 there obviously was there on the fender, and it was almost, again, Byron thought he was clear, looked clear, and just didn't have the clear. Obviously, another replay would give us a good check here again to confirm if I was right or wrong. Sound off in the comments. But you can see here right now, you can see 19 holding the line perfectly. Hagen there in the high, going to slot in. And you can see that 11 goes up the groove here. 19 tries to come up as well. Not clear, no longer clear, and then comes up. So if he came up just a bit earlier, it would have been fine. But when he eventually decided to come up, that hole officially closed, and there was the bumper, the front bumper of the 11 sitting right there.
Does a nice job not to make things worse, though. Gets the car pointed in the right direction and just keeps it rolling. A great avoidance by everybody else in the back of the field as well to avoid that stricken race car, and that will be our second caution of the day on lap 38, which does mean, Kevin, that we will have a little bit of a sprint to the end of stage number 2, and that's why pit road is getting as busy as it is right now.
Yep, obviously a few cars will like to stay out because almost everyone will be coming in on lap 50.
You saw there real quick, I don't want to cut you off, but just at the bottom of your screen, you'll have seen that was Kyle Taub getting bailed out of having that pit stop he had to make because of the way the caution came out. So he will lose significantly less time, and I think he might stay on the lead lap, or at least stay one lap down with that because he made his pit stop and then the yellow came out.
Yep, obviously we went back to quickly while we were watching that caution. Went back to see what happened to Kyle Taub. He got hooked on the bumper of Nathan Estep is what caused him to make that service there. But luckily, again, a bailout situation for him. He will stay on the lead lap and will now, in turn, be able to kind of continue going on here. So
Sasic and Breo rolling the dice a bit here, staying out.
Honestly, I don't hate that call. Tires are important, but with everyone pitting on lap 50 and both these cars were buried back in traffic,
I don't think it's a bad call.
It's a good chance. They obviously won't probably win the stage, but at the very least, it's a good chance to get yourself track position and maybe put yourself in a spot where you can give yourself better odds going into the next stage.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely the call. They're not trying to win the stage here. They were running a bit further back in the field. This is to get the track position for that final stage, the one that matters, and get themselves into a better spot for later in the race. Because again, we are already 10 laps away from the halfway mark. It has clicked off pretty quickly here, but yeah, it is that point where they're trying to make a little bit of a break for it here.
See exactly where they were. I'm just seeing. Yeah, they were just, because that was race lead right there. So they were 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They were 11th and 12th, just outside the top 10. So they think they got top 10 speed, so they're going to try to make this work and try to get something happening. Tommy Withers is also just pulled behind the wall as well. He will join the list of retirements, bringing us currently at the moment to 34 cars technically still on the surface. Brian Jones definitely heavily damaged. We'll see if he can get that thing back out there. 33 cars still running. Kyle Taub right now on the lead lap, so all cars on the lead lap. Actually, Kyle's one down, so as long as we don't get another car going one down, he would be the only car on the lap down, and he would probably get his lap back in that situation. So
yeah, because he only needs to go 10 laps to the end of the stage. He'll be the lucky dog on that, and he just pit. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Byron Jones. He is still in the pit lane, so not opting to use the faster pair, but had a good race going there. Unfortunately, some are going to say that he got turned. Some are going to say that he turned himself. But one thing's certain: he's out of the race now, unfortunately, and it's not how you want to end a race that he was doing very well in.
Yeah, it'll put that momentum though to the Truck Series tomorrow. I know we'll definitely see Byron Jones going out there and making that work. So anyway, pace car is going to take the lonesome road down pit lane, and we are going to go again. Can Sasic and Breo's old tires hang on, or will the fresh tires of Hagan and Proudfoot charge ahead here?
We'll find out in just a moment. Into the Geico restart zone. They get going. Not a great start by Proudfoot in that second lane. Not a great start by that second lane, or the inside lane in general. Breo does get a good jump.
The thing is, Sasic was the leader. Sasic, probably got the better jump there in theory.
Could have spun the tires a bit, though. Now they're going to go 3 wide. John Hagan going to force the issue.
You want someone on your outside? John Hagan's
that was Meredith that just went sailing into the infield.
Yep, he luckily didn't go too far off. He'll make the remerge here. But you can see right now, Sasic already down the 5th. Breo trying to hang on there. Hagan looking to clear.
4 wide. Here comes Hunter Peach in the number 1.
Yep, Peach smells the green flag, smells the Michigan Peaches, wants to try to take the lead here.
I think he's gonna. 5 wide for the lead.
And you got Sosi there trying to find a lane. Yeah. He's trying to make it 6.
This is insane. Katie Height gets pushed through, and now she will try to go take the lead on Hunter Peach. Peach led that lap by about a car length over 4 other drivers at the line. They're all going to sort it out, and now it's going to be Peach, Hagan, Height. Proudfoot and Breo still hangs on for 5th as it stands. 8 to go in the stage this time by. There's Pacey Wygent in the 24. He's trying to make some momentum as well.
Yeah, and you can see obviously that situation. Obviously, if you gave these cars 8 lanes, they would use all 8
They'll
lanes.
use
Build an extra
9.
lane, yeah, they'd find an extra lane to make that work. So yeah, build an extra lane. They will fill it, and they will fill it to the perspective. They'll build another
Oh,
one.
caution!
So,
We got a car in the background there. I think was that.
yeah,
Oh, that's a big wreck. That's the big one.
Yeah.
That is Boone, Swansworth, Cali Height, and more. There is Kyle Tao, who will get the wave around, so he's going to be a lucky duck. But
as long as he didn't hit anything, he should get it.
I don't think he did. It looked like he got it slowed down. Overstats involved as well. I saw a car down in the grass in turn 1, and I think I have a feeling I know how that one ends. I've seen this a few times in my career.
And we'll see here.
They're already checking up, so I have a feeling there might have been some.
Yeah, you can already see the smoke happening right in front here. Someone's already hit the
Oh,
wall.
goodness, yeah,
yeah,
Swansworth.
Shad. And you can see that car mowing the grass down
there's
there.
DJ Trout. Is that the 05 as well? It is.
Boone there. There's
there's Carmen Sienna right there down on the apron. Does she actually sneak through there? And that Arasaka 96 gets high to get away from Boone, and
hits nothing.
And the car behind her didn't get through of Caleb Eichler.
Mm-hmm.
Great avoidance there by ours truly. But yeah, let's have another look at this here, because I guess it's going to start with Swatsworth, who gets turned, I reckon. And that would probably answer our question. They're 4 wide, 5 wide maybe. There's the 9 car as well. I don't know that he has anything to do with it, but that was Eli Sasek, who was probably sailing through the field a bit.
Maybe the cork in the bow. There's the 55 bumping.
Oh,
the
Denny.
Oh, yeah, that answers the
Josh
question.
Arnold gets a piece of it, and this is where it gets bad, because Arnold's in the grass, and then Swatsworth comes back into traffic and
Cars
just
coming
clobbered by Cali Height.
Yeah. There's the 33 piling in as well.
Yeah, they're coming in here really, really quick, but I think they're all pretty unsighted. It's not every day you have a car come flying back up into traffic like that, and it's never a good scenario, even when you are prepared for it.
No, it is not. Yeah.
We'll ride on board once with Carmen Sienna here, who now finds herself
currently at
18th.
18th, yes. 18th.
So this is how she navigates her way through. Congrats, girl! You got yourself a highlight, because she does a nice job to get through here. You can see where the smoke comes back up. You know it's gonna be big.
Goes low, comes up just the right point there. Boone almost
see how she gets on the brakes there too to not run over the 99. Brilliant job to get through that one, and a good job. I think it was actually Sasek or Eichler got a piece of it, but I think that might have been net code. I don't see too much damage on that car either, so I think good job on Eichler to also get through there with minimal damage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was or not, but
you can see the cars obviously in the pit lane right there, doing a quick shot. Peach took the lead just as that caution came out, so he will inherit the lead with about 5 to go here. Well, a few more, probably 3 to go when the stage hits its conclusion. Yeah, saying words right now. 3 to go is when we'll take the green flag and then go to the finish of the stage at lap 50.
Tell you what, real quick, she said we were allowed to. And after that, I think we'd want to. Let's talk to Carmen Sienna, shall we?
Yeah.
Slowly get her up here. And Carmen, this is Kristina in the AVM booth. You got a copy?
Loud and clear.
Brilliant little job working through that one there. Made yourself a little highlight reel. How things feel in the Arasaka machine?
Still kind of adjusting and getting things up to where we want it to be. Obviously just starting to pick off positions. Now it's starting to kind of get into a rhythm here. Hanging out with teammates, got Eichler alongside me here, so
yeah. Do you know,
a long race still.
Did Caleb get any damage from that? Because it looked like net code in that wreck. Because if so, very nice job by him to sneak through there as well, both of you.
No, he tagged the wall beforehand, so that was probably the damage you're seeing if he has any. To my understanding, he didn't get any at all. He just kind of followed me through and just kind of went a little bit wider than I did when we were trying to avoid Flores.
All right, so 4 laps to go when we get the green flag in the stage. What's the plan here?
Same verse, you know. The second verse, same as the first. It's going to be, I think, a little bit more chaotic. Now we're going to be in it, so now we get to put those resources, those reflexes to even bigger use now.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to your team. Thanks for having a word with us, and good luck out there.
Absolutely. Enjoy, everybody.
Quick word with the CEO of Aviad Esports, who is currently running a pretty little wheel right now.
Yeah,
alongside
she
teammate.
is. She's having a ball out there, even though she's definitely let her personality fly a bit on the radio comms inside the game.
I can imagine.
But yeah, she's having a ball though, at the very least. And right now, trying to bring that 96 car higher up the field here. So anyway, field gets bunched up here. Pace going to pull off. It's Peach, Hagen, Height, Proudfoot, Wygant, Sosi, Zier, Sasek, Henderson, Gaiman. Trying to run that quick as the green flag's about to fly.
Absolutely, and there it is, and a great start by Peach, and again, not a great start by that inside lane. Gonna be a lot of 3 wide, I bet, down into T1, and it's gonna be all in the mirror. Hunter Peach, he's loving that.
Right now, if I was taking notes, if we do get a green checkered or a late restart, I'd be taking notes on inside line right now. Either maybe it's a situation where 2 cars had not get going at the same time, or this is a situation Hagen's mowed up the racing surface, almost sent Height to the shadow realm there, and that's going to allow Proudfoot to go on.
Mark
and even
Parkhurst has gone off and on, gets it gathered up.
Listening to radio comp where John Hagen, sorry to cut you up, I was going to say John Hagen said one word, I hate this car. Well, a couple words.
Yeah, well, that sucks, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know, 3 to go at this stage.
Yeah, I'm just saying that car plowed there going up the curved surface, so he's not having fun in this next gen car at the moment, and it's showing.
Out a lot of drivers today, hasn't it? He's done a nice job not to wreck the car. A lot of them have done a very nice job to gather it up, because that's usually the thing the next gen struggles with, is once you lose it, you never get it back. But Pacey Wygant racing very hard. There goes, speaking of never getting it back, what a save, Eli Sasek, who was 45 degrees sideways in the middle of the racetrack and gathered it up.
As long as it's not 90, he'll be fine.
Brilliant little bit of racing there. Brilliant little bit of racing here as they're now side by side. Wygant was trying to get by Height, couldn't do it. Now they're fighting for 3rd position with 2 to go on the stage. They're trying to catch Proudfoot and Hunter Peach, who has been quick. We know he's been quick. We know he likes these kind of tracks. Of course, he won last at Auto Club, which was very similar to this track. But he came from nowhere, Kevin, on the outside lane, high, wide, and handsome, passed 4 cars in 1 corner, and has been in the lead ever since.
Yep, it's going to be hard, though. Let's hope we don't get robbed. The same battle we saw last time coming to 2 to go here. You got Proudfoot and Sosi joining the fray. The only difference is Peach is taking the role of Height in this role, but Height's also there with Wygant as they are battling there for 4th. And as we come to the white flag in the stage, Proudfoot, Sosi, Peach, Wygant, Height, the top 5. John Hagen there also in distance, making it a 6-way showdown to Sunday to see who wins stage 2. And don't count out Zier in 7th there as well. So one of these 7 cars is looking to win the stage here, but right now...
Is that Henderson in the background as well? I think it is.
Remember, involved in that first wreck that ended the first stage here. I thought it was him might be backing off just a bit.
Don't want to end up side by side behind Proudfoot, which is going to be great for him to see, as now they go 3 wide behind him. A good run from Sosi, though. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Zier's getting a huge run as well as they come across the stripe.
It's going to be Proudfoot, Sosi, Height, Peach,
and then take your
Hagen.
picks.
Yeah, I think it's Peach, Hagen, Wygant, Zier, Henderson, Meredith, A-Step, or it could be Hagen, Peach, flip-flop. It looks like Peach is getting the back, so yeah, Proudfoot, Sosi, Height, Peach, Hagen, Wygant, Zier, Henderson, Meredith, E-Step. So E-Step involved, it was 20th before 20 laps to go here. He gets a top 10 out of this. Meredith gets a top 10. Zier gets a top 10. Wygant gets back at the top 10. A lot of cars that are running mid-20s at the end of the stage, keep their foot in it, and even Henderson as well, involved in the opening rack, get good stage points here.
And how about Carmen Sienna? Not going to get stage points, but finishes the stage in 12th. That is by far the highest that she has been in, well, her whole career in HTL, I think. This is about the farthest up she's been so far, so congrats there. She gained some good positions at the end of the stage. Of course, we got to show some love to the broadcasters, but Proudfoot and Sosi, you are correct, followed by Height, Hagen, Peach, Wygant, Zier, Henderson, Meredith, and E-Step. So, yeah, big ups to Nathan E-Step in the 12 to get back up into position here in that Bills machine, right behind the other Bills machine. They'll finish line astern, 9th and 10th. And now I would imagine we will see some more pit stops for those that were doing the gamble. I don't think it's quite worked out, has it? Eli Sasek falling to 19th position, Jeremy Braille falling to 15th. They both have net losses from that gamble.
Yeah. I don't hate the call, though. I still think it was an all right chance, but You live and learn. And if we come back to if we come back to Michigan in a next-gen car, they'll definitely take that information and
Well,
use
not
it for
even
something.
that. If we come back to this same race with 20 to go and there's a caution that comes out, now they know they're going to want to take tires. It's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Better to try and fail than to not try at all.
Yeah.
So there is race leader and stage winner Brandon Proudfoot. Austin Mongold will gamble this time, though, and stay out. And I think this one's going to be a bit more favorable because he was quite a ways back in the field. He was not floating around the top 10. I think he was in the deep 20s. So
He did pit last at 44, so he does
on
have...
that last caution. So
It's only going to be a gap of 6 laps. So, again,
looks like some
it's
drivers
not-
might have taken 2 as well there.
yeah, Jeremy Breo, I guess...
Has he now?
Yeah, he has. He actually fuel only. He didn't even take 2 tires. So
Oh.
Breo doubling down, I guess you can say, and taking a chance here. Feels like there may be another caution or something. He is going to take second position. Other noteworthy cars that took fuel only: Josh Gaiman took fuel only, now in 13th. Throws troubles. Everyone else, though, that most of the drivers that came in took tires and fuel and had damage. They fixed the damage.
That's very interesting, isn't it? I wonder if are we sure Breo didn't come back in during the caution flag sequence as his last pit
Breo-
stop?
I can't confirm or deny that, but Breo is actually dropping down here, so it looks like Breo had something. He is letting a bunch
He
of
might have
cars
missed
go
his
here.
box. He might have been speeding. I'm not
Maybe.
sure, but
I'll go back and quickly check, but yeah, only 5 seconds in pit lane time here. I'll just
probably
confirm.
speeding. Then he probably was trying to get out of the trying to get that track position, but not sure. But
Yeah, he hits his box. He stops. I see that confirmed, and then waits for 5 seconds and goes.
so it's
So he
probably a
did-
gas and go. He probably went for the scramble gamble and ended up shooting himself in the foot by speeding, which you can have the best strategy in the world, Kevin, but if you speed on pit road, it really doesn't matter.
Nope, it doesn't.
So then, we'll
Yeah, I thought I
re-rack
should
them
say
and
more there.
restack them.
But yeah, yeah, we rack and restack.
One
like a-
Carolina Beagle driver goes to the rear of the field, and another one will inherit the lead for the first time today. Austin Mongold in the 38 alongside Proudfoot, the stage winner. This is the final stage of the race, and it will be the longest at what looks like, if we go green to the end, it'll clock in at, about 66 laps. Or, not 66, 46 laps, excuse me. I can count, I swear. 46 laps, which will be significantly longer and will require a green flag pit stop should it
Yes.
go green. However, it's not been a bad second stint, but there have been a few more cautions this time around, so I have a feeling that we're going to see that iRacing Mustang a few more times before the night's over. I've been wrong before.
Disagree. I think we'll see definitely at least one more time here at the very least.
And if we have
yeah.
one, it'll be towards the end of the race, yeah, so then it will be a lot more, so...
Again, one word: cautions breed cautions.
Mm-hmm.
So, see how it all plays. Obviously, I hope we go 46 laps green. It'd be fun to see.
Well,
I
I'll
think these
tell you
drivers can do
what.
it.
Why don't we go from high above on the ABM blimp and watch this restart? Pick your
Got one
favorite
to lap.
driver. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. The final stage here at Michigan is green. See everybody fan out a lot on that restart, not at all like what we saw from previous restarts. And Mongold's gonna hang on to the lead for at least a half a lap here. Sosi drives in deep on the 31 of Proudfoot, nearly turns him. That's gonna give enough breathing room for Austin Mongold to lead a green flag lap on this strategy. So well done there, lad. And Sosi is falling back like he missed the bus.
Yeah, he is. Looks like the bus kind of caught him off guard there.
I think he had to check up so hard on that 31 that he lost all his momentum and had no dance partner down the straightaway.
Nope.
See the cloud cover getting quite extreme here as well. Of course, no rain in the forecast, but those clouds do make a big difference right now, especially with the dynamic track. And you can see Hagen, he said he hates this car. I feel like his opinion might slightly change, but now he's going to really hate this car because he's
wide.
almost 4 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide still for second.
Stuck
Peach
in the
just
middle with you.
Clowns to the left of me, Jokers to the right, and Hagen's going to be wondering that too, but he'll slot back in here. We'll settle it back out to 2 wide here.
Trouble Proudfoot got turned, and is he going to... Oh, my God, what a freaking save. What a freaking wheel, man. That Proudfoot, I can't believe he saved that car. He's going to lose a ton of positions, but that should have been a sport ender. And because of that talent behind the wheel of the 31, holy God in hell, I can't believe that.
I mean, you're also going to give some points as well to Hunter Peach for not
killing him. Yeah.
Yeah. Peach, I'm looking back right now. Peach was close to wrapping into the back of that 31. We'll take a quick look.
I cannot believe that's... I mean, they're wrecked. He's destroyed. Yeah. There's no way that you get away with that at 180 miles an hour. Fastest track we'll go to that's not, you know, a restrictor plate track. I cannot believe that we just saw that and nobody died. Hats off to everybody on there. Good Lord, you will not find better car control than that 31 car.
Just for perspective, Hunter Peach was going 160 miles an hour when he almost ran into the back of 31. And at the time, they were going 170 into the corner, and it was 150 Proudfoot, 160. He saved at 155 miles an hour and got that thing saved. Again, I was thinking about to write off a couple cars. They're saying
we're about to write off the sport. That was about to be the last ABN broadcast. I can't believe that just happened. The race is still going on, of course, too, because there's no caution because nobody wrecked. Nope. This is hugely unfortunate, though, for Proudfoot because he's lost about 20 spots. Actually, I think he's actually gained quite a few of them back already. He has really lost not a lot of momentum. He got right back at it like nothing happened. And here he is making a move on Henderson. So he will continue to make his charge back through the field. What a guy. What a save. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Put that in your bowl and eat it. I don't know what to say to that other than speechless.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's not much you can really say with that in that regard. It's just
contact there between Mongold and Hagen. I'm not really sure where Hagen was going there.
Hagen kind of put the hand in the window saying, what you doing there in regard to, so.
I don't know why he'd do that. I kind of think that was his fault, but as they all kind of scramble now, this is very, very unstable. Look at the 31 trying to tempt fate a little more, shall we? Through the middle. Look at him go.
We have a house money here. He wants to get back in that top 10 here.
Yeah, he knows he should have died 3 laps ago. He's got nothing to lose.
The Cats already lost a couple lives. Why don't we put one more at risk here?
Why not?
Look at 38, also trying to car Mongold.
Yeah, he's trying to recover as well, and now he's going to be very upset with the 64, I'd reckon.
Yeah, 64 is right there. The little Bob Ross painting up there right in front of the 17 right there. Going to slot in line. Right now, nothing's changed. It's still so... Oh, I think Sasic almost had... I see someone with Sasic real fast here.
Yeah, Sasic nearly got sideways there with the 25. They're still 3 wide. Mongold stuck in the middle with you again. And trying to find some room to run. It was also worth noting, good save from Mongold, who got basically punched out of the lane and didn't end up in the wall or anything. It doesn't appear to be any damage on that car either, so...
Number one thing Kelly Height has taken behind the wall as well. Her day is done as well. So add another car to the graveyard. That's not stopping the raciness up front here.
Not stopping her girlfriend either, who's going to try to go for the lead here.
Now, if she can get in the front in the first place, they'll invite Callie into victory lane all the same.
Oh, I'm sure. Caution.
Oh, we have a caution.
It's Gaiman and Breo. And Breo is going to save it.
Yeah.
And Gaiman is going to save it.
Yeah. So Gaiman and Breo, looks like Gaiman may have gave a shunt to Breo here. We'll put the replay aside here.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wow. Hey, that's, hey, I know who that is.
Oh, yeah.
I think we know somebody who might have a real good idea what the heck just happened there.
So we'll see exactly what happens. 88 gets a little loose off right, but it's going to come out here. Coming into 3 is going to be our problem child here. Still side by side.
Oh, and Gaiman kind of just hooked him.
Yep.
Well, at least from that angle. We'll take a look here, see if the 88 moved down. It's going to be one of those 50-50 deals, but from that angle, it kind of looked like Gaiman tried to side draft and misjudged it.
Clear. Breo's holding line. Gaiman's holding.
Yeah, Gaiman kind of runs him out of room there. There's nothing. Yeah. Breo didn't do anything wrong, and Breo does a nice job to hang on to it, though. Does a quick 360 and gets going again. I'm surprised that brought out a caution, actually, but yeah, I guess just a misjudgment from Gaiman there. but no harm, no foul, I suppose. Just a couple 2Xs all around. And we're now on lap 63 of 100, which is interesting because I don't know if
Field's coming in like...
Yeah, well, they're going to want tires anyway, I think, but I don't know that they could make it on fuel, but it is going to get around that point where these cautions now, and cautions breed cautions too. If we get a couple back-to-back cautions, maybe you can make it on here on fuel.
Let's see, it's right now here, we'll go back live at 66. So 76, 86, 96, that's 30 laps, and then add 7, 8, 9, 100. So we're looking at 34 laps. Here's Gaiman hitting his box here.
Yeah, this is live, so this is just catching back up. But, you know, I'll tell you somebody who does know, because she's in the car and can tell us.
She'll probably take a good inspect.
She also had a very good view of what just happened. Why don't we get our CEO back in the booth here? Hi, Carmen. It's us again.
Got you, Laden.
Yeah, so you just munched down on some popcorn and watch whatever just brought out that last caution occur. We got a good question for you, actually. We've got our own little mailbag up here in the booth. Can you make it on fuel from here or no?
No. No, there's at least one more stop here. It should be a pretty firm one-stop race. We should have enough for a good one-stop. It should be an interesting 15-lap sprint at the finish with how everyone's fuel looks at the moment. It looks like the fuel economy is between 27 and 30 laps. For me, it's closer to 30 because I've just been in traffic so much. But if you're out front, it may be a little bit less.
You think you get a couple more cautions? You think you may be opportunity to try and roll a gamble?
If we're gonna have a couple more cautions, it means we're probably gonna see green light checkers, and I don't think we'd make it that far.
Fair enough. All right. Well, this is probably the last time we're going to talk to you unless it's a real caution fest. It's been a really nice race, and you've been making your way up and down through the field. You're having a nice little run. Any last thoughts before we let you get back to it?
It's been a lot of fun. This car and the way the update has responded to this car has made this track a real blast. The intermediate is going to be a lot of fun later this season. It's completely changed. This makes the next gen feel a lot better. It's a 9-day difference, and you're seeing that the drivers feel more comfortable. I think we might be seeing a little bit too much comfort at the front of the field. I think with them going 5 wide, but it's a show. It's a spectacle. It's a lot of fun being in the car. This update, I think, has really brought a lot of this stuff out of the car. So if the drivers are happy with it and they're running around with it, then I think everyone else should have a lot of fun with it as well. And just makes Daytona even more entertaining next week.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you get back to it. You're doing a nice job of gaining some positions. We'll see if we can gain a few more, maybe get a top 10. Good luck, and thanks for talking with us.
That's the goal. Thank you all.
You know, it's nice so we can just ask the driver what the fuel numbers are. It's a nice little feature we have with Carmen up front there, still beside her teammate that she was been with for pretty much the whole race, Caleb Eichler. All right, so we're gonna have I can count 35 to go at the line. It's Sosi and Blake Henderson. Actually, we would be remiss to not mention that Blake Henderson is in the lead for a millisecond. Now falls to second place as we go back green, and puts a big block on Katie Height. A gamble, perhaps, from the 25.
Again, a driver that needs a good run, a driver that has had bad luck, needs a good run at this point. Try anything at this point. You already got involved in wreck early, so might as well see what you can do to make it happen.
Oh my goodness, what on earth? Hagen going down into the next country, trying to find some grip down there. He's going to go 3 wide off into turn number 3. But I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, it's getting very dicey here. But to your point, yes, Henderson maybe doesn't want to do this. He has to do this, though, and Hagen nearly turns him.
Yeah, Hagen, again, not a driver I want to be side by side with going in a corner, especially if he's got the speed advantage here on the tires. He'll slot back in a little bit further back here, right there between the 12 and whatnot. But we'll see here as well, right there, the 25 falling another spot down, will fall behind Proudfoot, still in the top 5 at least at the moment, but hoping, obviously with one more caution on the horizon, if he can hang on and get to that window, he can take advantage of what he can get and put himself in the spot and get some good points. But right there, you can see for 6th position, 7th right now, fight is raging on Peach, holding on to that top 5 with Zier and Wygen fighting aggressively for 6th.
Yeah, and if you're Henderson, you hate this as a driver. You don't want to be that person. Everybody hates it when there's that person on old tires, but like,
Cool win.
yeah, exactly. He doesn't give a coal you know what about your championship, but you look at that scenario and it's just, this is what you got to do. This is the desperation coming out. There's 2 rounds to go before the championship. Cut off, and Hagen hits the wall hard, and he's going to collect some people. He tried to throw that car away, and he finally did it. And he's going to take Apperson with him. No caution yet. And
Apperson, I think, got light contact with him. He should be okay, but looks like everyone else
Flores, I think, got him a bit harder. And he is coming to the pit lane. You can see the diffuser destroyed on that car as well. So he's found, that I feel bad to say it, but that was looking like it was a matter of time.
Yeah, Flores gave him the biggest hit there. Apperson had nowhere to go, ran to the back. Both of them stayed in the point right in their action, but
3-car fight for the lead.
Yep, 3-car fight for the lead. Just checking. Hagen in, Lyman in, and Flores in. Apperson will stay out, so Apperson will not pit for damage. But we'll see right there. Height taking advantage of position.
Oh my goodness, what a move there! She just sent it.
He wants the lead here.
Big slide job. You'll see her fall up to the outside lane. We'll see if Sosi takes that momentum and tries to cut under. I don't think so. I think Height really just wants to be at the lead. We've seen her hanging back a lot, and she's worked pretty calmly with Sosi and Proudfoot at various stages in this race. So this could have just been a scenario where they're going to let her go in front. But, like, I don't know. It looks like she just sent it in there all of a sudden. Big move there. But, yeah, it'll still be those 3 fighting. You can see Henderson fighting for his effing life back there with Lilac Zier now, who will make her way into the top 5 for the first time solidly tonight. So she is continuing her momentum. And then, who is that? But the number 12 of E-Step in the Bills machine, continuing his charge forward. And then Pacey Wygen, and look who's back. Back again. Look who's back. Tell a friend, it's Jeremy Breo.
Yeah, Breo charging back here. Remember, tried double strategies here. Obviously not on the freshest machine in the world.
This is just the best of the rest right here on the field. It's been 3 or 4 cars out front all day, and this gaggle is just everybody else who's been in the top 5 at some point tonight.
Yeah. Obviously, what should be worth noting, remember what, according to Carmen said, stint window is about 27 to 30 laps here.
Yeah.
She was predicting about a 15-lap run to when drivers will come in.
We're already
we're already technically in the window here as we're on lap 71. If the drivers are in traffic, they could roll the dice, try a couple extra laps here, but obviously with gray white checkers could be on the horizon. You want to make it as long as you can go here. But the window is now officially open for the final pit stop, but we're not going to see drivers pit just yet here. They're trying to hang out here and go as long as they can, or at least somewhat long, to make sure they have enough fuel in the tank.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Henderson pit. I think that's why he stayed out like he is. He might pit now and try to flip-flop the strategy, get as much as he can on those new tires, maybe get himself a better track position by the end of this race. I would imagine with how wounded... Oh, and Pacey barely missed the 25. He completely missed the corner. Again, the banking on the very bottom lane is not the same as the banking on the rest of this racetrack. That's why they're flying up off of the apron like that. But... yeah, this is some great stuff going on. They are fighting really, really hard. Hunter Peach fell off the face of the earth in the last 2 laps, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him come into the pit lane. Remember, it was a big move on strategy at Auto Club that put him in position to win the season finale last year. So keep an eye on that number 1. He's been quick all day. Has he had a race-winning car? I think he did at one point. It's probably in there somewhere. He just needs to get back into position.
Yeah, sometimes... strange situations make strange bedfellows, and at this point, if you can pull the right strategy out, one of these drivers can. We could be talking about a different driver in contention here to take this win. But right now, the battle still rages on for the lead right now. Height and Sosi fighting hard for first and second, proud for the distance, and then 2 drivers like you were kind of talking about earlier. Where do they come from? Zier and E-Step 4th and 5th, respectively.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a turn of events here for those 2 cars. They are kind of keeping close with the top 3 here, trying to stay within distance. It makes something happen. They can be definitely cars that try to maybe go 1 or 2 laps earlier, try to get the undercut, and try to make the track position work here at the very least. But coming up to lap 75, going to be close to 25 to go here
The
in
window
this
is
race.
truly open now at this point to be pretty safe to make it. So
because remember, first 2 stages went 25 laps, so that
Yeah.
is definitely worth noting at the very least. You can now officially make it on
I
tank
think,
fuel.
for what Carmen told us you could, I think this is the point, though, where you can make it with a green-white checkered to boot. So that...
She was saying 15 laps. All the cars came at 63. If that was the case, it would be 78 as she's gearing up for pit stop or around where everyone is thinking. So a couple extra laps past 75 here.
It makes sense to me. I think that the strategy calls are either going to be pit with half of the race to go to take that early advantage, or go until the tank is dry. Because when you pit early, of course, you'll put yourself into that danger zone where you'll be a lap down and be out of sequence and have old tires, etc., etc., etc. But if it goes green to the end, you can gain a lot of time on those fresh tires, especially if everybody pushes those tires older and you get the most out of both sets of tires to the end. But of course, if you go all the way until the tank runs dry, you can absolutely abuse that last set of Goodyear Eagles, and you'll have all the fuel in the world for a green-white checkered.
Yeah, and it raises the question, obviously, if you go long, obviously, if a caution come out, everyone's probably going to come in. So if you run that tank dry and you go to lap 93 and a caution comes out, let's say at lap 90, everyone that came in right now is coming back in. You basically net gain the track position. So there's a risk and there's a reward. Obviously, you're not going to put anyone one down at this risk, but we'll have to see it all plays.
This is the strategy. This is where we finally get a green flag event and we see strategies play out. And it is no surprise that once strategies play out and some mind games start ticking away, we see that 50 car creep up the leaderboard. Do not count her out. She is a dark horse pick, truly, and she looks to be the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, she's whipping times down right now. Looking at the last lap, at times, well, actually, we'll get best up to here. Last time she did 39.58, fastest out of the top 4. Again, this time by, we'll check the stopwatches. 39.65.
Even with all the leaders, tied for the fastest.
Height, obviously the slowest, but without the slipstream help, showing the effects of that. But she is running fast.
I think the thing that sticks out for me is that Zier has left E-Step while E-Step's fallen back a bit to Breo and has caught up to the 3 strongest cars all night.
Yeah.
From seemingly, I don't want to say seemingly nowhere, because she's flirted around the top 10, but she just turned a top 10 car into a race winner, potentially. Again, a very solid top 5 car right now.
The only thing I wonder is that does she have the short run pace? She has some good long run pace as the run goes on, plays into her strengths of bringing the tires out and making the tires work. But does she have the short run pace if she goes long to be able to reel these cars back in? Because we've seen cars that were very good on the short run, not good on the long run. If she's the reverse, she kind of needs a caution now, or at the very least, maybe
I think she needs it to go to the end, because then she could pit early and make those tires work for her. But also, I think the alternative to that is she's got the track position, Kevin, which is going to be so crucial anyway. She has track position, and she's no slouch. She knows how to drive around these kinds of racetracks. These are driver racetracks. She has more experience than half the field. She's been doing this for decades, even. So she knows how to get it done, and that's why it's so fun to watch her, because she's not the flashiest driver. She will not turn purple laps every last lap. She finds the wall there, and that's going to hurt her a bit. But
she followed Height and the other 2 up the racing surface.
She got the dirty air,
Yeah, mowed the lawn down. Well, not the lawn, but the wall in this case. The lawn's the other direction.
I wonder how much damage there might be, because we saw Hagen do that quite a few times and get away with it. I don't know that there's a ton of damage. It's going to hurt her momentum and probably her ego a bit, but she's still around about contention. But again, she's got the strategy card in her pocket, so we'll see what she does there. But that is going to put a damper on things a bit. She was looking pretty quick, but these 3 have been perfect tonight. Go ahead.
That injury, I just want to say, looking at some of the retirement lists, John Hagen, obviously we saw the incident with him. He pulled behind the wall, and Joshua Gateman had another hit the wall pretty hard, and he is now officially behind the wall as well. So our pole sitter, one of our top 5 cars in qualifying, will not finish this race here as well. But that's not to shoot the battle here. We've seen Height and Sosi fight ever since the end of stage 2. They've been fighting hard here, and they're going to continue to fight here, as we still have a green flag pit stop looming, just under 20 laps to go.
And I think that's why they're starting to get a little racy here. I think they're probably trying to get themselves sorted for that pit stop. I don't know if Sosie's trying to push her out ahead so they can break away from Proudfoot or just get some distance, or if Sosie's trying to gear up to make a pass on her to get that track position into the pit lane. It's hard to say because all three of these drivers work with each other at different times because they, you know, it's kind of the unwritten alliance. When you're some of the fastest cars in the series, you're some of the, you know, most experienced, most skilled drivers, you'll work with each other over quote unquote randoms, right? We saw that in Champ Car too. The faster drivers always worked with each other, even if, you know, they're rivals on the track, but you'd rather fight the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? So
Yeah.
but now it looks like Sosie will take the lead, so I think he is gearing up for the pit stop. He's trying to get the most out of those good years before he boxes.
And we're going to see that next week, too, with drivers that one car already in Eichler pitting this time by. He'll be the first one to blink, and he missed his box, by the way, so any time gain is now going to be officially lost. But he is going to be the first car electing to come in here at the moment. See how everyone else slots in. It looks like it's kind of broken time.
Yeah, I think because Eichler slid the box, then backed up across start-finish line,
that's
which
what he did.
Is scoring him as the race leader, which
And now
we
he's
like
backing
you,
up a bit
Caleb,
more.
but yeah, that wasn't. So
Yeah.
now things are back to normal. So don't panic when you see her half the field one lap down.
Yeah, 'cause I
and
looked up and
Proudfoot
like-
just found the wall too.
Yeah, they're pushing hard here. I think it's time we're going to see more cars electing to blink here. Parkhurst also in as well, so I think we finally hit that window where we're going to see cars in. Looks like Byron Joe said really on the radio, I don't think he had an incident. He's battling back a little bit further back, but yeah, cars are ready to fight here, but not seeing anyone else saying they're in yet. But you can see right here Byron Jones battling.
Well, this is actually Wygent. They
Wygent,
got the same
thank you.
paint scheme, but that's
Yeah.
Wygent battling
Different
with...
numbers. Different color numbers.
Yes, battling with Peach and Denny. There's Parkhurst out of the pit lane, so we are having some of the tail end drivers coming into the pits, so that it's kicking off now. This is when Carmen said we were going to see the pit stops with about 15 to go. Game on.
Yeah, obviously, again, they could probably push the tank to about 90 to 93. Curland lap 85. So, yeah, they could probably go to about lap 90 if you are right now our race leader, Sosie or Height, Proudfoot, E-Step, you've been kind of running alone. You probably have to come in closer to 90 to 93. But if you're someone that went longer and be able to save it, you probably can make it work a little bit nicer here. So 15 to go here. Sosie trying to make it back to back here, but Height and Proudfoot in the mirrors, making this a 3-horse race at the moment. As you can see, Zier right now battling Rayo just outside the top 5. I think that damage is a bit affecting her a bit.
Yeah, I think it's affecting her quite a bit, much more than what we saw out of the 64 machine and out of Proudfoot just now. They are having a bit of a scrap here, though, Breo and Zier are, and I think Breo may be trying to box.
I was just about to say, a few drivers coming in right now. You can see Arnold coming in, along with Peach. He is singled. He is coming in. Meredith. Blake Henderson in as well. So crowd pit lane getting a bit crowded. A few other cars in the rear coming in as well. We got Carmen Sienna, Austin Mongold, Zachary Apperson all in at this time by here on lap 85, going to 86 as they will cross the line in this situation.
Byron Jones comes in as well, was one of the drivers there. Thank you for calling that out, though. And we can see as the leaders come through, this is where we're going to keep our eyes open. Who blinks first of the leaders? Because you're going to get a big advantage here on that first lap that you pit. I think Height's the first one in. She is. She drops in. Can she get in and off pit road critically without speeding? She was in quite hot, but she got it tapered down.
But there's a risk here. If they go too conservative and let's say Sosie or Proudfoot are more aggressive, it could in turn play out into favor of those two cars. Look at who's come down this time by. Height,
Breo as well.
Breo, Sosick, Donaldson, Ellis. So 7th to 12th currently on the timing and scoring board, leaving the top 6 still out at the moment. And 2 of those 3 that we were watching battling for the lead.
And they need to pit now.
Yeah,
they
need to cover
need to respond to Katie Height's pit stop, because we saw this before where nobody responded to the Katie Height pit stop and she just drove away with it because everybody was like, oh, she won't be a factor, and then she dominated. Now they've learned their lesson from Charlotte.
They're coming in. Yep, Sosie confirmed it, Proudfoot confirmed, E-Step staying out, Wygent as well, Denny out, so 3 out of the 6 coming in. Well, Sharp confirmed she's coming in. She has not hit the box yet. Now she is. So
now
this is
the critical bit, because this is the battle for what will be the race win if it goes green to the end here. These 3 drivers, we have Height roaring down the back straightaway right now. We're going to keep the cameras on these drivers because Katie Height should be coming out round about turn 4 just in a moment.
Yeah, she's in 3 and 4 right now, just for
There she
reference
is.
purposes. 43.05 on the pit lane time, 14.87 in the box, and it looks like Proudfoot rolled the dice. He took 2 tires,
Oh,
while
wow.
Sosi took 4. So Proudfoot will come out with the lead. Now it's
There's
question Sosi
Katie
and Height.
right there.
Sosi had a quicker pit lane time by about a second, so keep that in mind as they come around here. Height right there, you can see on the
That's
wide
the
side
4
of the screen.
tires. Yeah, that's 4
Yep.
tires on 4 tires. So Sosi will get out ahead, but I think Katie will have the momentum. So I think she still gained time because Sosi had a big lead when
It was about
Katie pit.
4/10. It was 0.40, so she did gain there, but that extra pit lane time paid off big time. I said, we won and lost in the pit lane. How aggressive you want to be. We saw Height taking a bit more conservative than Sosi did.
But
and
here's
Sosi
the thing.
made work.
They're going to have to work together, and I think they will because they both know the deal now is that you'll see that she's not making the move on the 31.
Yeah,
or on the
you gotta
81
run
rather,
down
because
Proudfoot.
they have to go get Proudfoot, who's on 2 tires, which is
2
a
seconds up
huge
the road.
gamble.
With 10 laps to go, with 2 seconds about the gap right now, 31.29 to 33.66, so that's actually a little bit over 2 seconds. They have 2.5 to be exact. They have
Look,
to
look,
run.
they're tandeming down the back straightaway, Kevin.
You're not going to see this till Daytona next week,
Yeah.
you thought, but they're going to make this work now. They know the game stand as Denny, E-Step, and Wyjet's still out there, by the way. E-Step, Denny in, so Wyjet's still de facto leader on the racing surface. He has one more scheduled stop to go, and we see enemies throughout most of this race. They were battling for the lead. No, all right, truce. Let's go get that 22, and we'll fight back at the line. Right now, that gap is closing, and closing quickly as they are now bringing it down. They're actually going to come up with Bobby Flowers
That's a
here.
bad place to catch a lap or two,
That is
and that's
for
going to hurt them
position, too.
both.
Yeah, and that is for position, by the way. Blowers has not pitted yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And he will now officially come in probably this time by. Also, Wyjet has now officially came in. So lead will now be handed over to Proudfoot. When Proudfoot comes around off 3 and 4 here, he will take the lead. And she's got to go probably one more rotation around first.
Yeah, I think one
and
more
then he'll
lap,
take the
but-
lead. Yeah, but he will take the lead.
Now,
So
this is enthralling right now, Kevin. But of course, this is a huge gamble for Proudfoot because if a caution comes out, he's screwed. He gambled on having that extra space, but with 2 seconds between them, they are gaining. But are they gaining enough?
They have to gain 2/10 a lap right now on average to check out. Height, Sosi got around Height, and it looks like Sosi has a little bit of damage on the front end. I don't think it's going to be enough. Actually, no, he's fine. My mistake. Misread the color there. But yeah, they both have to work together here to make it happen. Let's keep an eye on the lap times. This time by, just for perspective, Brandon Proudfoot crossed the line, did a 39.61.
Oh, they're closing
Two
visibly.
cars were watching. 39.5258. So they were a 10th
1.9.
quicker.
Yeah, I don't know if it's enough, but keep in mind the exponential tire wear for both of these drivers, and with the dynamic track, they can search around for grip. Don't forget about that. It's new here. That is a thing. That's probably why Proudfoot may have felt confident enough to take 2. Maybe he thinks he found grip where others couldn't at the end of that run.
Again, they have to work together, and they have to average about 0.20, so 2/10. They have to make up 2/10 a lap in order to catch Proudfoot here.
That's
Obviously, when it gets in his toe, they'll make it a bit easier, so they have to give themselves enough time. That time by Proudfoot at 39.63.
Oh, they gained 2 that time.
39.48 for Height. As she's the lead car, she's the one we'll be covering here, and Sosi did a 39.53. Worth noting as well, E-Step currently 4th, also did 39.40, but he is 2 seconds behind this battle.
Yeah.
So unless chaos happens, he is currently settling in a battle for 4th.
So they gained about a 1/10 and a half there. They may just get to the draft. This is going to be a grandstand finish, I think, if it stays at this rate. If nobody makes a mistake, if all the lappers are minding their P's and Q's, I mean, they're visibly closing. That's not the question. It's just, is there enough time? It was 1.7. It's going to have to be about 1.5.
It is 1.5. It's 1.50 right now for Proudfoot Height. They are doing what they need to do. 39.80 for Proudfoot,
And here's the thing.
39.55 for Height.
Sosi's the smart one here right now. He lost that position. He's letting Katie do all the dirty work and push as hard as she can to shred those tires. He's just sitting in the slipstream. If they catch Proudfoot, he's going to have the best tires of everybody. He could still win this.
If it does work out, he's going to have to send a nice little thank you card to Bobby Flowers, who ended up kind of holding him up there, allowed Height to make the move, make it work. One more thing as this race continues on, as we're about to hit 5 to go here. Look at Parkhurst. He came in earlier than everyone else. At the very least, even if he can't hold on to a top 5 as Meredith is closing right now, it's still going to be a top 10 run for a car that was running early, high 20s, low 10s. at the time. So he made that work to a T, and he's looking to reap the rewards here. But 5 to go right now. Gap is not falling as hard. That time by was a 39.74.
They caught traffic too, though.
39.62. So again, oh, that's a big chunk they just took out right there, though.
Yeah. See, the other thing too is they don't have to get directly 2/10. They can give up a little bit here and there. They just need to get within that 1 second bubble to start getting slipstream, because then it's going to really kick off. But they're running out of time. 4 to go this time by, but the gap is going to close more. This time it's going to go down to 1.3, so they got the 2/10 they needed that time, but it's just, I don't know if it's enough.
I think they're going to run out of time. I think Proudfoot's 2-tire strategy is going to be the big brain move of the race.
It could be.
Got one more car ahead of him right now. He has the 33 he is caught. Right now at the moment, you'll see him just up the road here in that shot. There he is. That is Stefan Oberstadt. I think of the name for a second.
But he had to change his line mid-corner. Oberstadt tried to get out of the way, but it was a little too late. That's going to cost him some time.
And that's going to bring him just outside the 1 second bubble here as they cross the line. It's going to be probably exactly 1 second, 1.01. I now got it 1 second on the nose.
Yeah. I think that's a big moment right there because of that little adjustment. Now they are going to be right on the periphery of draft. And look, we got more lap traffic up ahead too. That's Kyle Taub, and I think.
And I'll tell you who that is in a second here. It's
Taub
the
is one of
16
them.
and the 13.
Yeah.
16 to 13.
And they're trying to do things. That's
yellow flags out! The 90, a Parkhurst, and the 17. They were battling for a top 5.
Oh my goodness. Huge hit down the back straightaway. That's a hard lick.
Yep.
That was to the 17 of Meredith, who got absolutely shell-shocked at the end there.
Parkhurst, not Parkhurst. We know for a fact Proudfoot's going to head to someone's hauler here. But you can see there's Breo as well, join the fray
Yeah,
here.
this was the fight. Parkhurst just lost it on the old tires, and then Breo finished him off.
Breo, and
I mean, that wasn't anybody's fault. That was just the tire differential, and then this. Watch
Flores.
this here. This is the bad part. Oh, that was Peach.
Ooh, Peach. Hunter,
who's been having
Peach.
a great day.
Yep.
There goes Sienna through. She got through, but yeah, Peach is destroyed now, so that's a great day he had. It's over now.
It's gone.
This changes everything. Take everything that we have learned about this race and how this was. It's over. It is a completely different vibe now, because Proudfoot's on old tire. And what is he gonna do? Do they all pit? Do you do whatever the leader doesn't do? Surely. Proudfoot's gonna have to pit, but now I think they all might pit. But if they all pit, what do you do?
Looks like they're baiting. Are they? Yeah, they're baiting.
Oh, but some of them are gonna come in. Only one, only two.
Fourth car came in line right there. That was looking at Lilac Zier, Blake Henderson, Sharp, Parker's obviously was involved in the caution, Austin Mongold, all in, Gary Donaldson. So looking at the moment, most of the top half of the field stayed out.
I'm surprised. I would have thought it'd be do whatever he doesn't do, but I think they might have thought, listen, Proudfoot's on older tires anyway. We still have the advantage. So Proudfoot's a sitting duck right now.
I don't hate the call coming in if you're a little bit further back, because
I don't either.
Feels like
what do you have to lose?
Cautions.
Yeah.
But if you were inside the top 10, I just think you would have to see more cars ahead come in for me to do that.
That's a good point.
If I was in Denny's spot, Arnold right now, 7th, 8th right now, I'm not coming in unless I see Height, Sosi, E-Step come in, because it's a big gap you have to make up. And if you need to see a good chunk come in or to be like, yeah, it's worth it.
Hey, you thought that 6 wide earlier was crazy. Get ready for what we're about to see coming out of turn 4, coming to the white flag. This is... Yeah, no, you make a good point. I think it is. And this has not been a caution-filled race either. It's not been one of those deals where you're relying on the caution. It very well could be a one-and-done here. This is very much turned this race on its head. And the 3 dominant cars of the day are still the 3 dominant cars of the day, but now every role is reversed because Katie burned up a lot of her tires trying to catch the 31 of Proudfoot. Proudfoot took 2, so he's already on bad tires. Sosi, who lost all that ground, very well could have the best tires of all of them, but don't count out that 12 car either, because he's still in there. And how about Eli Sasek, the most opportunistic driver all season? He finds himself once again with a top 10 car that he's put in a top 5 position.
Yeah. Worth noting, just looking through the field here right now, highest driver that currently elected the pit there and come in for tires, Alyssa Pelletier Sharp. I think she only may have took 2. Her, Zier, Henderson, Donaldson, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th respectively. So they are going to be a pretty penny behind here. In order to make this work, they're going to need at least another green-white checkered.
Yeah.
For those that tuned in, worth noting, unlimited green-white checkered attempts. We go until we see the white flag. So there's no limit on how many attempts they get. So
Correct.
we could, if we see chaos breed chaos,
We could just be getting started tonight.
yeah, and that could play into the hands of, you need that chaos vote right now if you're a Sharp, if you're a Henderson, if you're a Zier. You need some chaos here to get a little bit closer. But if you're a Proudfoot, you want one, and you want this to be the only attempt, and you got to hold that those right side tires find the fountain of youth.
Hey, how about we do a little shout out to that 55 who was involved and got some significant damage in one of the earlier crashes, I think in the big one, Josh Arnold. He is back inside the top 10. And how about also Byron Jones, who was up in second or third, got turned or turned himself from the lead, now side by side with his teammate. And right back in it, and look at that! Who's right behind them? That's Carmen Sienna, who could pip a top 10 if things go a bit topsy-turvy. She runs 11th.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, not going to say much else. If I commentate or curse her, she may lock me out of the commentary booth. But anyway, we're going to see the pace car come off. It's on proper control. Inside line has not been the best. We'll see how it plays.
Yeah, I would like to be on that outside line right now. It has been getting the best starts all day long, but we'll see with a push, though, from Sosi to really change it. Sosi gets a fantastic restart and pushes that stricken 31 car to the lead. Remember, on 2 tires. Here comes Sasic on the bottom, but it's Sosi, Height, and Proudfoot, not in that order, but here comes Height on the bottom. 2 laps to go.
Smart by Sosi, push 31 clear, have Height slot in line for third.
Oh,
Give
Height hit
yourself
the
a gap
wall.
for a seat. Height taps it lightly there. You can see Breo trying to make a move on
Here
E-step
comes
here.
Sosi to the inside. He's going to get
Height.
there. Height has to shove it in there, too. She knows she needs to. Coming to the white.
Yep, and there's Sosi. He gets clear, coming to the white flag here. Height going to follow inside. Cannot allow that 81 to go
It's
too far
over.
line. Yep, it's going to be white flag this time by.
The longer they stay side by side, Height needs to clear like yesterday, because the longer they're side by side, they're going to slow each other down. This is giving Sosi all the daylight he needs on the better tires of all 3 of them. It's his race to lose down the backstretch.
Getting a little racy in the back.
Oh,
but that's
trouble!
not
They
the
get
point
turned in the
factor.
back.
Yep,
Never
multiple
mind
cars
that
down.
now.
Taking evasive action.
Height's
We're
going to
gonna
get
focus
to have one chance here if she tries to go around the outside, but I don't think it's enough. I think it's Sosi's day here. I think he played it right.
Yep, we'll see off 3 and 4. Height not gonna have the charge. Even Height admitting
some
on the feed
momentum.
on the radio.
Yeah, and at the line, it's going to be the 81 of Josh Sosi once again taking the checkered flag. Back-to-back wins here at Michigan. Katie Height comes home second, and Eli Sasic, once again the opportunistic driver that he is, takes home another podium. Nathan Estep, Jeremy Breo will be 4th and 5th, then it's Denny Proudfoot, Arnold, Byron Jones, and how about Lily Pelletier Sharp coming home with position.
She took advantage of that chaos there with a lot of cars checking up and involved in the incident. She was able to get that car that was in about 16th up to 10th. So fresh tires able to help her dearly along with Byron Jones. But again, Sosi playing it to perfection there, making it work perfectly. And again, all it took was 200 laps last week at Rockingham, winning that race. They get the momentum. So you see the wreck there play in real time. So we'll try to get a good perspective
Trying to get
of
a better angle of that. I think it was Casey Wygen. It was one of those two. I'm not sure who it was because they were jostling around.
I think it was a little further back because it was behind Sats. Maybe it was here. We'll see here in a second.
We'll find out. I've got my finger on the 19 if it's not the 24, but I feel like, no, it definitely had to have been. It was right here.
Yeah, Byron Jones kept it going. So yeah, Byron Jones was not in the incident.
So let's see what happened to Pacey. I think it's because the 31 gets loose on the old tires and clips the wall, and I'm not sure if he comes back across or if it sends the 12 across, but somebody, the 12 got loose too, and unfortunately just hooks the 24. Nowhere to go for Pacey.
At this point, cars are checking up, making evasive action. Some are getting on the brakes not to get ran into here. You can see most of the cars there get around successfully, and then you're going to see right
there's
here.
Teammate Byron Jones. Oh, Henderson.
But Henderson
Sweetheart.
got baited. He was following the 19, and just when the 19 moved, at that point, he saw the 24 right there.
Carmen Sienna
nowhere to go.
sneaks through one more wreck tonight, too, as they crash all around her.
She's not going to be too thrilled, though, because she was 10th.
Yeah, she dropped quite a few spots.
She got on the brakes to avoid it and fell to 20th.
But a clean race car nonetheless, so she can have that one to thank at least. No ARCA brakes for her, and it got her through that wreck. I think she would have been in it if she tried to power through, but Yeah, Josh Sosi again. How about that? After having a fantastic start to the season, a horrible midseason, he now finds himself with back-to-back wins right before the chase. That's a hell of a way to do
Yeah.
it.
Momentum is a tricky mistress, if you will say so myself here, and you can run momentum to a treat. If you get one, you can get another, and it's like Pringles. You pop one, you pop another. Unsponsored by Pringles, though. But at the end of the day, though, it's worked perfectly, and now the 81 is going to have all that momentum. And now the 17, the defending champion, wondering, why did my luck go to the 81? And with
Yeah.
one race to go next week at Daytona, there's a lot of drivers right now that are sitting on pit lane wondering, it's do or die. At the craps table, you're putting it all on red or black, and you're hoping your number comes up at the roulette table.
And I'll tell you what, too, the thing about this is that we had Josh Sosi. We 3 races in said he was going to be a championship favorite. Absolutely, he was the man to beat. And then he had a few okay races and quietly made some positions. And then he had DNF after DNF after DNF. And we were thinking for a second, maybe that's it. Maybe that's all he had. No, he shut everybody up here these last 2 weeks on 2 completely different racetracks. He shows up and stunts on the field twice. Class of the field all day long in both races. Ends up with the win at the end. Was right there when it mattered, played the strategy perfect, and what did we say? He saved his tires while Height burned hers up a little bit more than she wanted to, and while the 31 played the strategy and ended up getting it wrong. It seemed like Sosi was going to be the loser of the 3 that were at the front, ends up flip-flopping around. We'll speak to all 3 of our top 3 finishers in a moment if we can, and I think we'll try to start with Josh Sosi if we can grab him. And we have them all in the waiting room, so yeah.
Yes.
Josh, this is Kristina and Kevin in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Wow, it's been a fantastic start to the season. A horrible mid-season, but I think, as the kids say, you're in your "we are so back" era.
Yeah, momentum breeds momentum, I guess. I really wasn't looking forward to tonight with this style of racing, but keeping it clean and keeping it up front and not getting used up and messed up and all that good stuff. And great teamwork and pseudo teamwork with Katie, and just played it smart, took care of it. We had one little incident with me and Proudfoot that we're gonna have to look at it. He claims it, but I don't know if there was some net code there. But glad he was able to not wreck it and worked as a team really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And now winning 2 races back-to-back, headed into Daytona, where we know it's going to be a bit of a crapshoot. What's the emotions like now after having finally gotten over that horrible string of results to get back to championship form at a most critical point? What is the emotions like headed into the championship for you?
Relief, gratefulness, a little bit of confidence back. I know a lot of it wasn't my fault in that long 2.5 month stretch. But just I already know that put me way behind on regular season points. So as far as finishing position goes, that cost me some playoff points. So to be able to get a couple of wins back to back, get those bonus points for the playoffs, puts me on par with Katie, I believe, and Brandon. They'll probably have, at least Katie will have the advantage as far as regular season finish, but just keeps me closer to the game for who's potentially going to be the front runners, and the heavy hitters in the playoff time and battling for the championship.
We saw you all 3 working with each other at different points in the race. You were working with Katie for a bit. It seemed, at least, I don't know if there was communication, but you and Proudfoot were working together for a bit as well. The 3 of you have been the class of the field pretty much all season long, and seeing all of that respect on the track, how different is it in those final 10 laps when you're racing each other tooth and nail versus when you're out there trying to help each other pull away from the rest of the pack for the first 80 laps of the race?
I think more than anything, it's a mutual respect and it's an understanding. We all know that you have to be there at the end to even have a shot, and we don't even have to communicate. I know me and Brandon do, being teammates, but just to work together. And I could tell by the way that Katie was running with me that they were on the same mindset. So it's just being smart, and you find like-minded individuals who want to run the same as you. And then you spend the first 80 laps knowing that you're not showing everything, but also sizing each other up and trying to game plan for the end, depending on where you're running. And Brandon probably would have won this if we hadn't had that caution at the end. He took 2, and I was going to take 2, and I decided to take 4 when I saw how early we were pitting. I kind of forced my hand, and I got wicked loose behind a lap car in 1 and 2, and Katie was able to leapfrog me. And at that point, I'm trying to work together to get back up to Brandon, but I don't think we would have made it. It would have been a battle for second. So thankfully, we had that caution. It gave us a chance. We had a hell of a team restart there, and I had too good of a run on the backstretch not to take it. And Brandon understands that, and then he said he had done the same if he was in my shoes. So it's just good to have people that are smart up near the front of the field. I know people like Gaiman should be up there, and he's had the bad luck that I've had the last 2.5 months, and hasn't been able to shake that monkey off. But I fully expect him to show up come playoff time, and he's not going to go down without swinging.
Yeah, you all put on a hell of a show tonight, and it was a hell of a finish for you. If there's anybody you want to shout out, now would be the time to do it. Though I imagine it's probably not much different than last week when you're in victory lane.
Yeah, first and foremost, everyone here at Lady Liberty. Great things, great communication. Shout out to Lily getting a top 10. Unfortunately, Callie had some bad luck, and as always, great teamwork with Brandon. And then everyone at Nitro Setup Shops. They're a great sponsor and team to drive for outside of league racing. And if you need a kick-ass setup for A, B, or C car on the oval side, go check them out. And then the admins, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, everyone showed up. It was a pretty good race for Michigan. And, of course, you guys, as always, for, putting this broadcast on, doing a great job. And regardless of how we run individually, it's always a good show to watch.
All right, well, Josh, congrats on back-to-back victories. Headed into Daytona, you're probably about the coolest cucumber headed in there, so congrats and enjoy.
Thank you.
I tell you what, Kevin, we got a lot of euphemisms, and I think between the two of us, I don't know where we're putting all of them. We gotta get a jar of euphemisms. I'm not sure, but what I am sure of is Katie Height finishing P2. We'll talk to her next. Katie, this is Kristina and Kevin in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, it seemed like with 5 laps to go, you were set to finish second, and then it seemed with 1 lap to go, you were set to finish second in a completely different manner. To walk us through those final few laps.
Well, I don't know, like the entire final run there, I just felt like, I'm Ferrari, like, fighting 2 Red Bulls, and it was pain for most of the race, just because it's like one arm tied behind my back, just trying to punch up against like the Lady Liberty cars. Brandon and Josh were just so rapid all night long, and I was right there with them. It was just so difficult for me to try and position myself to break them up or get in front. And when the strategy call came down to it, I was Josh and I were right there together coming out, and Brandon's all the way up the road with 2 tires, and I just sort of I was just trying to run down Proudfoot as best I could, and right before that caution came out, I got right within that 1 second draft zone. So I was hoping that maybe in the final 2 laps I could get that super speed out of it and maybe make a pass, but I was just sort of more or less settling for second at that point. But yeah, the restart was just craziness. I know Josh and Brandon, they had the advantage of being teammates and being able to work together, and me just having to guess when they were going to go. And I knew that I had a chance to get around Brandon on his 2 tires, but it was, as I was discussing with Carmen on our team comms, it was pretty much Josh's race to lose at that point.
Yeah, especially once it was side by side at the end, it was going to be hard to find that grip. But I do want to ask you, did you use up a bit? Obviously, using up those tires because it seemed like it was going to go green. Did you burn through a little bit of the tires there on that last restart, thinking maybe we were thinking that maybe Sosi had saved a little bit, was letting you do that work after the lapped car incident. and that maybe he ended up with some of the freshest tires between the three of you, obviously, because the 31 had 2 tires, and maybe you had burned up some trying to go after him on that green flag run.
I mean, I felt like I was just trying to maintain the pace I had. I was just focused on my line, my pace, like I said, and I think we were pretty even. It was just the advantage that he had with working with a teammate there, not discrediting his speed tonight. It was just, like I said, I was just sort of unable to really combat teamwork by myself up front.
Yeah, absolutely. And we mentioned how all of you guys were kind of working with each other in some ways, not necessarily directly, but just the way that all three of you seemed to be having that mutual respect to watch you all go for it at the end. It was a very fun one to watch. Of course, headed into Daytona next week, you're locked in. All three of you are locked in. None of you have to worry about that bit. But still a solid finish here. Probably not too much to stress about headed into Daytona, other than just trying to get one more win under the belt. If there's anything you want to say, now would be the time to say it. If not, congrats on another solid finish.
Yeah, just I think going into Daytona, it's going to be trying to figure out who I'm going to try and help get into the playoffs if I can't, steal a win out of it, or trying to get another one of the team cars in the owner playoffs or what have you. So it's pretty much going to come down to if I have teammates, I'm going to help them. If my teammates are gone, I'm going to try and help friends. If my friends are gone, I'm going to try and help somebody that is going to put someone else at a disadvantage. The whole chess match there with Daytona. But anyway, want to thank the HTL admins for putting on the entire series. I want to thank everyone up in the booth, you, Kevin, and Carmen, when she was up there, with all the work that all of you do behind the scenes and bringing the pictures of the race to life and all of that. Also want to thank Callie, Emily, Lexi. I have some new friends as well to thank. Ray, Zeke. I don't know if Pete was watching or not, but if he was, that's cool too. But yeah, just and Lexi. Gotta thank Lexi too. But yeah, that's about it. Now I can go pack and try and get myself up for 4 a.m.
Well, lucky for you, it was a pretty green flag race for the most part, and it's only 10:30, so we'll let you go get some rest. You've definitely earned it with a solid run tonight. Congrats.
All right, thank you.
One more driver to talk to, and it's Eli Sasic. And Eli, this is Kristina and Kevin in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, how many times have we heard this story before? Eli Sasic rolls up with a top 10 car, does a great job to put it in a top 5 scenario, and then by the end of the race, you end up on the podium. Walk us through that one.
I was a little bit scared because of just the new iRacing. Like, I wasn't scared, but I was definitely nervous because I haven't done any running on the new iRacing patch at all, with how the new system works, with how the track changes and stuff. So I was a bit nervous about that. And sorry, generally how competitive I would be. And I didn't qualify. I had a penalty for that. So even put me in a little bit of a tougher situation. And I just started in the back, had to work my way up. I made a few. I think what's the word? I made a few. I think maybe one or two decisions that kind of hampered me. But I mean, a third place at the end is a lot better than I want, and it's a home track, and I mean, happy with it. It's a third place, better than what I did last week. So yeah, very very happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a string of just good finishes, good consistent driving from you and the Ascent team. Headed into Daytona, of course. What are the vibes like headed into there? Obviously, we know your team game is very strong and all of your drivers like to work together, but also you're trying to get yourself into the playoffs here. I don't know if you've pointed your way in or not, but you've been very strong all season. What's the energy like headed to Florida?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling I pointed my way, and I have 103 gap as of Rockingham,
Oh,
and
you should be good then, yeah.
I should be good. So, um, I think just trying to get another car to win and get them into the chase probably would be the play from there. I don't know. Maybe that'll just be a chill race for me. Just kind of hang out in the back and not really do anything, or I don't know. I haven't really gotten that far yet, so we'll have to see.
Well, it was a good effort, of course. Again, congrats on the podium. If there's anybody you want to shout out, now would be the time to say it. If not, we'll see you in Daytona.
Yeah, shout out to everybody at Ascent. Selena, she didn't show up tonight. I'm not quite sure where she is, but thanks for always. Elias and Joel, of course, for driving the cars and getting good finishes when they can. Sometimes things don't go in their favor. A lot less than things going my way. So shout out to them, and then shout out to my grandparents who are probably watching this right now. I'd safe to say, and they support every week. So thanks to them as well.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your time, Eli, and congrats again on another podium. Great job.
All right, thank you.
And I almost pulled Kevin out of the booth. He left on his own.
Yeah.
I almost threw you out the window, Kevin. I'm sorry. So with that, then that'll do it for us. We'll have a quick look at the finishing order and get you that one. But it has been an overall enthralling race here from Michigan. And put on a fantastic show. The first race with the new track modeling did not disappoint, did it, Kevin?
No, it did not. It was quite a great interest race. You saw multiple lines getting paid out. Very clean green flag running too for the most part of this race. Hopefully they can keep that same momentum going into Daytona. But if we see the starting grid here, starting grid was about 2.5 hours ago. The unofficial result, Josh Ossosi takes the win, back-to-back wins. Got one win after 200 laps, now adds another 100 to the repertoire, and that'll be another victory for him. Caitlin Height comes home in second, Eli Sasek third. That will round out the podium, with Nathan Estep and Jerry Braille rounding out the top 5. Alfred Denny, Brandon Proudfoot, Josh Arnold, Lily Peltier-Sharp, and Caleb Eichler.
How
Remember,
about
Eichler
that?
gets a top 10. We were talking about him in the pre-race, slowly chipping away, not qualifying for 70% of races, and now gets a top 10 out of the deal. So hat tip to Eichler there. And yeah, top 10, even if it's, good for him on that run.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we also heard from when we were talking to Sosi, Lily got another top 10 as well. So a good run for her. Jeremy Borreo.
I think it may not be a top 10 because I see on my screen I see Jones is 9th, but on that timing scoring it has Sharp in 9th. So I don't know what happened to Byron Jones because he finished the race.
That's true. Well, it's showing me on my timing and scoring that Lily was 9th. So it's probably unofficial results. So I don't know.
Unofficial results. Yeah.
And when I say looking at my results, I mean looking also at the timing screen, not just the graphics. So I guess we'll figure that out. But nonetheless, we do know Caleb Eichler is in 10th. Josh Arnold finished 8th, a great run. A lot of drivers that really have just been doing nice, plugging away and getting good finishes for it. So congrats to all of them. Also, Nathan Estep and Jeremy Breo, the tough customers of the day, fighting back from all the troubles they had, and Alfred Denny as well. Very well-earned top 10 from everybody on that list. Lilac Zier, not what she would have wanted. She was definitely looking like she might have been able to try and skunk the field at the end, but unfortunately, damage from a wall contact puts her out of contention, but she does rally back for 11th. Remember, she made a pit stop on that final green-white checkered and rallied the troops to an 11th place finish, as did Gary Donaldson, who also pit for tires. Casey Ellis was between them in 12th. Good finish for them. And then Austin Mongold in 14th with Hunter Peach in 15th. Not the race that Hunter would have wanted. Carmen Sienna ends up jumping from 20th to 16th with the way that things were shuffling around. So again, these are unofficial results, so we'll have to see where everybody actually ends up. But
I think you can just take Byron Jones if he was in 9th. Just take everyone from 9th on 17th and bump down.
Remember, there are incident limits too, though, so it's very possible he could have been moved to the tail end. Again, that's why it's unofficial. But
correct. So put an asterisk there. But regardless, it's one spot difference on a point, or Byron Jones' case, like 10.
Byron got a drive through on the last lap from a contact from netcode, so it's interesting to know whether that will be overturned or not. But currently, that's why Byron's shown an 18th.
So that explains it. 11. Okay,
Yes.
so Byron Jones 18. So yeah, if it stands, then Eichler gets the top 10. If not, then Jones would get back his top 10. But anyway, there's 11 through 20. Obviously, Parkhurst was involved in the incident on the last lap, along with a few others we see on the bottom of this list here, along with Pacey Wygen and Zachary Apperson.
Blake Henderson, also another driver who absolutely plowed into that last wreck. It seems like trouble finds him even when he doesn't find it. Kyle Taub in 22nd. He never got that lap back, unfortunately, but he did end up with almost a top 20 after all the damage he had. I'd say that's still a decent dub in his box. You got to look at the positives. Bobby Blowers in 23rd. Steven Overstat, 24th. Elias Flores. These are a lot of the drivers that had issues towards the end. Zachary Meredith, Nathan Lehman, Josh Gaiman, Shad Swatsworth, John Hagan, all DNFing from this one. Followed as well with Caleb Carter, Callie Height, DJ Trout, Matthew Boone, Tommy Withers, and Joel Rodriguez, all failing to finish. Bianca Constantini and William Britton both failing to post qualifying times as go or go home drivers. They did not take the green flag tonight. And with that, that's a wrap for Michigan. The penultimate round before the cutoff race for the chase for the championship in HTL. Please, I implore you all to join us for what HTL does best, plate racing, next Monday.
I'm excited. I am excited to watch some plate racing.
I am too. I can't wait to bring it with you. Me and Kevin will be right back for that. And I think it'll be Kevin's first HTL plate race, so you're in for a show.
I've watched a couple from the sidelines, but it should be fun to see
First
it
one in the
actually
booth.
come in. Yeah. Carmen obviously will be driving the 96 car one more time, so after that, though, we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. She'll join you for the rest of the season after my little 3-race excursion. And maybe Kentucky as well, because she'll probably drive for Kentucky as well.
Indeed, yes.
So you'll probably see me one more time in the season, and then she'll be taking the
No
rest
complaints
of the way.
here. It's been a pleasure sharing the booth with you,
Yeah.
and I hope you all watching at home enjoyed it just as much as we did bringing it to you.
One more thing, HTL Truck Series, that is tomorrow. You can see me in the booth along with Strix Polsevich. She will be operating the cameras as well. Carmen may or may not be there. We'll have to see on schedule, but in the commentary, not driving. Yeah, that's tomorrow at Michigan as well. And then the following week, they're not doing plate racing in the Truck Series. That will be at the road course as well. So that's the next 2 weeks at 8:15 is when those races go live on ABN1.
You're not going to want to miss any of that. Big shout out to our supporters, FerretMan0294, for giving us a raid halfway through this event as well. We hope you enjoy. Shout out to Fem Android for the follow. And thank you guys all, every single one of you, for watching. We hope you enjoyed. So long, take care, and be well. We'll see you next week in Daytona Beach, Florida for the HTL Cup Series, and we'll see you here at Michigan tomorrow for the trucks.